What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Hard Count. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday, December 13th. It's almost Christmas time. It's the most wonderful time of the year, as they say. You know, got Polar Express on TV all the time. My favorite Christmas movie. Big Polar Express guy. Christmas music is very soothing. I get to talk football with this wonderful guy to my right, Mr. CJ. How we doing there, boss?
All is well, brother. Home Alone for me.
Okay. Classic.
Just classics, yeah. I mean, it's just something. It's just when you see that movie, you remember that time in your life, and that that's things you cherish. That's things you cherish because this man. That's when you think about when you were younger, Christmas days.
Bro,
the essence of your childhood. Yeah, magical, bro.
I mean,
magical.
there was nothing.
Just yeah,
like,
go ahead, yeah.
There really was nothing like Christmas Eve, Christmas morning.
Bro, the joy you get in that gift that you wanted. Oh my goodness, man.
Not even and like see, I hate surprises. I hate surprises in life, right? Like I don't need to be surprised by like, oh look, all of a sudden something's wrong with you. But a Christmas a present? I'm a big surprise guy when it comes to that. You want to throw me a surprise party? Big surprise guy.
And you know like what you're gonna more times than not get it. But when you get it, you're
and not only that,
you're just like, yes.
And not only that, bro, like those real early days when it was all about Santa.
Yeah.
That magic of being like, oh my God, I can't believe I got this.
But I ain't gonna lie, I picked it up kind of quick though. I picked it up. Yeah.
How old were you?
Like, cause I say like second grade. So I'll say second grade. Like second grade, I woke up one time. My mom was just going to I just go to use the bathroom. I was like, oh, but I'm like, I was still, I still kept the spirit for, I still keep it going. But yeah, but I had figured it out. I was just like, oh, okay, cool. That was kind of my mindset.
I think it took me a little bit longer because I never had that, right? Like to this day, I do not know where my gifts have ever been hidden. That's I have checked everywhere in this house when I was younger. Now I just like let it happen organically because who doesn't still, like I said, I still want a surprise. Exactly. But back then, bro, I was checking around the house, seeing about like, oh, maybe I'm getting. Bro, I've checked downstairs closets, parents' closets, brothers' closets, the car, like the boiler room. I like maybe they were keeping it at my nan's house till the night before. I would check there. Nothing. Never found anything. Still have not found anything. And then like, yeah, bro. Like I feel
they probably keep it out of storage.
Maybe I was like, I don't know. How old are you in second grade? What are you like?
Yeah, like 8.
8? Yeah, I feel like I was like 9, 10 maybe. And it was kind of like, okay. And like that was the other thing too. Like there was this one website I used to always go on every year that like it would have like a dancing Santa and like other like mini games and stuff. And one of the things was sending your Christmas list to Santa, but you had to always put in an email address. So I was eventually like, yo, that's probably how my parents always knew what I wanted. Because like the email was being sent from this website to them. And then I would do it, and I would like sneakily go on like my mom's laptop and be like, did she get the email? And it would never be there. And I was like, yo, this motherfucker might be real. I was like, this guy might be real.
Nah, they smart. Their parents are smart with it.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
They did a great job.
But all right, listen. How about we get into everything?
Facts.
CJ's gonna pull up this. I assume you're gonna pull up the scores for us here.
Yes, we're gonna pull up the score. But first thing, let's just couple points. First off, rest in peace
Unbelievable.
to Mike Leach. Yes,
crazy
college football legend. Really set the way for the way offenses played today, not only collegiately but also in the NFL, with the spread offense, the air raid. What he did at Texas Tech and what he did at Washington State, and then what he did in those few years with Mississippi State. This offense, you look at USC Trojans, look at Caleb Williams, just won the Heisman. running the offense that Mike Lincoln Riley learned that offense from Mike Leach. So, you're just passing the torch, passing off knowledge, and you see from what he started back in the early 2000s is still formulating and definitely still at a high level today in 2022. So, again, RIP, condolences to his family, to his loved ones. Again, at Texas Tech, that time when him and Crabtree, they beat Texas. They upset Texas that one year in that rivalry. That was a great game. Look, I know you don't watch college, but look back and watch that game. That's a classic game. Abendola's in that game. That's a classic game, bro. Go watch that. Texas Tech versus Texas. Texas Tech upset them. Crabtree was going crazy. That's one of the greatest college football games of all time. You missed out on some classics, bro. You missed out on some classics.
One of these days, maybe.
You feel me? Vince Young and
I wasn't old enough for that. But.
No, but I mean, you could go back and watch it.
See, here's my problem with going back and watching old things too, especially sporting events, is I already know what happens. So it takes all the drama out of it.
I mean, I could watch Jordan highlights today, and I know what happens every time, and it still gets me hyped. That's crazy.
True. You're right.
I'm like, oh, I saw that. I've probably seen it 100 times, but like, wow, he still did that. That's exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, rest in peace to Mike Leach. Again, legendary football head coach. Condolences to his family. Secondly, just going to pull this up here for our viewers, people listening on audio, man. Appreciate you guys again. Please leave a review. Spotify,
absolutely,
Apple Podcasts, all of that is greatly appreciated. We really appreciate that.
Nice little star rating for us. We got Vic in here, all right. Just because New York and Boo England are tied does not mean that you guys are taking the wild card. You're better off trading with Miami for an offensive listen.
I got an interesting take on that, brother. Stay tuned, man. Good to see you, my guy. Happy holidays.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, my brother. Yes, sir. So, yeah, follow us if you have Twitter.
Yes.
Follow us on the hard count, at the hard count _. That's at the hard count _ Follow us. Connie drops a lot of great content on NFL Sundays, 1 p.m., 4 o'clock, 8:15 windows, and, of course, the Monday nights as well. So, look out for Connie's tweets on the hard count _
Definitely try live tweet and everything. Yeah,
yes,
live try to get stuff out there. So if you guys want to see everything, just interact, conversation, back and forth. Love talking to everybody. So make sure you go and follow that. Like you said, the hard count _
Yes, sir. High quality tweets, man. We're not out here. We're talking football. We love the game. We're not on some hyperbolic type of stuff, man. We talk real football. So yeah, look out for us on Twitter. At the hard count _
Where's the link to the merge? Listen, Vic, one of these days we'll get there.
Soon, bro. Yo,
gotta line the pockets.
In due time.
Find sponsorships out here. Don't worry about that. Don't you?
Also, follow us on Instagram as well at the hard count NFL. Again, we just got an Instagram page up last week. Got a few followers going. Follow us. And let's try to get to like 50 followers.
Facts.
Let's see what's up. Try to make it go. So for the people listening, people watching, try to get that to 50. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing, dropping great content, dropping great episodes for you guys. So look out for that.
Absolutely. Follow us on all the socials. Linktree always there in my Twitter bio as well. You can find everything. So listen, start slow when you build up, but listen, you guys know what we do every Tuesday, and obviously we want to pump out as much content as we can, not only during the season. We're still here in the off season. There's always stuff to talk about in the NFL as well. Take a little bit of a break, and then we get right back into it. So make sure you guys follow us all year round. I started to post a little TikTok yesterday, so I'm trying to get that popping off as well. So just make sure you guys listen. Don't you want to be here from the beginning? Don't you want to say you were here since the beginning? I'm just saying.
Exactly. And then lastly, before we get into these games, man, congratulations, Coach Prime Sanders, getting that head coaching job at the University of Colorado. Big time deal big time deal getting to a Power 5 school after doing such a great job at Jackson State and Mississippi, understanding the circumstances that's going down there in terms of water, clean running water, things of that nature, and just the situation in Mississippi we know definitely low in economic stature.
I believe it's the poorest state in the country.
Yes, by multiple data sources. So we know how serious it is down there. What he did down there brought a different energy, brought a different life to that. People want to talk about the negative and not talk about the positive. He did a great job down there, motivating, inspiring young African American men and women down there during his time there. That's what needs to be talked about. So, congratulations to him. Again, it's not a lot of. Again, I don't pull a card, but it's just what we see. I don't like doing that, but it's definitely added some diversity to the head coaching jobs in the Power 5 and collegiate football. I think that's great. It's one of the greatest players of all time. One of the greatest players of all time. So it's an automatic recruiting. The energy he brings. I've been watching a couple of his speeches, inspiring stuff. I see why they went 27-5 in this time there. I mean, they
that he brought into him.
using half his salary to go fund the school, even though it should be the other way around. The school gets the funding. They need to be funding back into the school. We don't know where that money goes. That's why when I see these people donate all this money to these HBCUs, who's getting that money? Is it really being dispersed the right way? Questions we don't ever ask for these so-called activists that you see on TV. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah, shout out to Coach Prime, man. I'm going to be rooting for Jackson State and the University of Colorado. You're not going to shift me in one way. I think for myself, I'm going to be a fan of both teams. If you want to be a fan of one and stay on whatever side you want to be on, that's your prerogative. That's how I'm going to rock. Jackson State, Tigers, Colorado Buffaloes. Room for both. Can't tell me nothing.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we'll get into everything right now, and apparently there's room for Baker Mayfield on the Rams. Because, listen, I had full faith in the Raiders going into this game. They're on a 3-game win streak. Devontae Adams was thoroughly in the offense. They had started rolling a little bit. If they win this game, they're right back into the playoff mix. They would have been like a game or two out of it. Baker Mayfield. Listen, if you listen to the Amazon Prime broadcast, Kirk Herbstreit said that the announcers, being him and Al Michaels, got into LA before Baker did. Baker had a Wednesday walkthrough practice and then the game to figure everything out. So you have full faith in the Raiders going in, and then obviously it just doesn't look very good. 10-3 in the first quarter, 13-3 at halftime. Right there, you're kind of figuring like, okay, Raiders aren't playing their best football, but they're still going to be able to figure everything out. Josh Jacobs is doing his thing. I mean, even in this game, he had 27 carries, 99 yards, a touchdown. Not, the greatest average yards per carry, but, for basically 3.7, that's still a first down. That is still a first down every single time. So he's doing his thing. I think the big turning point, though, is that car interception at the half. That car interception at the half is a killer. He was hit as he was throwing it, but it was just a duck in the middle of the field. The Rams ended up picking it off and kind of
a bad read.
Yeah, bad read, bad play. I mean, if anything, even if somebody's close, you gotta. I mean, I guess I understand trying to make a play, but you gotta just take the sack at that point. Throws that interception. They don't score any points going into the half, which would have made it a 16-3 game instead of the 13-3. And obviously, with the way. Fallacy, the predetermined outcome, of course. Maybe if they're up 16-3 at that point, then they add the field goal like they would have in the end of the game anyway, they still would have won. Listen, you don't know how the game switches if everything doesn't play out the exact way it did. So you don't like doing that.
Players make plays.
Exactly.
On both sides.
And I mean, then you look at the Rams too. I don't believe Aaron Donald played in this game. Obviously, all their injuries on the offensive side of the ball. And like I said, Baker just coming in at the end. But it all comes down to the end of the game. And the Rams, they go score a 10-play, 71-yard drive. Only took a minute and a half off the clock, starting on their own too. started on the LA2.
Right.
They go down. Oh no. That's the wrong one. My bad.
It's a great punt.
That's the winning drive. But the previous drive before that, 21 play drive starting at the LA 25. 21 plays. Took 9 minutes off the clock. And I think this is where time of possession and like the amount of plays run is, we understand it in football, but I think it's still underrated a tad bit. You just had the Raider defense on the field for 9 minutes and a second, 21 plays. You know, if you're going 100% for 21 plays, you're exerting a lot of effort. They just go down, score that touchdown, right? That makes it 16-10.
Right.
And it's like, okay, the Raiders are just going to be able to run the rest of this clock out. Like, this shouldn't be a big deal, you know, whatever. 5 plays, they gain 9 yards, and it takes up 1:30 seconds. So you just had your defense on the field for how long? And then you only take 1.5 minutes off the clock. They immediately have to come back on. And listen, like you said, unbelievable punt by the Raiders punter, downs them at the 2. And right there, once again, you're kind of like, okay, it looks like the Raiders are probably going to escape with the victory in this game. You know, there's no way they're driving 98 yards to go score a touchdown, whatever. Well, then all of a sudden they start driving. They get, I believe there was there was a defensive pass interference on this as well that helped them get down.
Yep.
And then they're playing press man coverage when people on the Raiders, the Raiders corners were injured. So it's not even their starting corners. They're playing press man when you know that they have to get into the end zone. A field goal does nothing for you. A field goal is covering the spread. That's all it does. And they play press man. Van Jefferson beats his man off the line. A beautiful throw by Baker. And I'll be honest with you, completes one of the most impressive wins I've ever seen. Listen, are there impressive wins because of major comebacks? And I'm not comparing anything. I'm just saying, like, you know, Brady in the Super Bowl, major comeback. You remember the Chiefs versus the Texans all those years ago in the wild card round, I believe it was. That amazing comeback they had. So there's comebacks like that, and an impressive win, and cool. This is an impressive win because it shouldn't happen, and it's just he was there for a day. He probably doesn't even know Van Jefferson's name. And he just threw him the game-winning touchdown. Like, that has to be magnified times 100. You're there for, 36 hours? You have one walk-through practice?
Right.
And they just led a – and listen, it's the Raiders. They've been back. They're on a 3-game win streak. I don't want to hear it. They were on a 3-game win streak. It looked like they had turned things around, if we're being honest. And, you know, like I said, if they win that game, they would have been right back in the playoffs. So they're playing for something. It's not like the Rams played, you know, the Texans, who, I mean, then again, gave the Cowboys a hell of a game this week. But, you know, is a 1-10 team. The Raiders are on a 3-game win streak. They're 1 win away from being back in the playoff race. And your quarterback's been there for about 36 hours. This is one of the most impressive wins I've ever seen in that state of whatever. And for Baker, this might be the 3rd best win of his entire career, because people saying it's the best win of his career. He won a playoff game. Okay, calm down.
Okay. Congratulations. He did a great job. One, he's a professional, so I expect him to go out there and be a professional, right? He gets paid to be a quarterback in the NFL. So greatest win. It's a great win. It's a great story. He did get cut by the Panthers, who are playing better now.
Yeah.
So, but now he's at a place where this is the best coach he's had in his entire career. So we'll see if he maximizes this and seizes this opportunity. This is a big opportunity for him. Stafford's out for the season. That doesn't have to worry about anything. And the other 2 guys that they have on the roster, he's better than.
Yep.
So this is an opportunity for him in these next few weeks, win or lose, to show that he could still be a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's all this showed to me. I mean, okay, if he has this win and does nothing else after that, what are we saying? So I'm expecting him to learn, grow, get better, understand this moment that he's in, be extremely grateful from the things that I've heard. That's the things that I've gotten off of when I've heard him speak, which is good because remember, this is the former number 1 pick in the draft. Like this is not Brock Purdy. You feel me? This is the number 1 pick in the draft, and he's on his 3rd team. Everybody else is still on there, other than Josh Rosen. Him and Josh Rosen, right? Okay, right, and Darnold, right? All of those guys, multiple teams in 5 years.
Yeah.
Only 2 guys that stay on one team is Allen and Lamar. It's crazy. It's crazy. So this is a big opportunity. He's going to the Rams. They just won the Super Bowl. He's still being coached by a Super Bowl winning head coach. He's never had that in his football career. You feel me? Of having a Super Bowl winning head coach in your headset, in your helmet, talking to you, telling you what to look at, things like that, coaching you, helping you prepare. So hopefully he seizes this opportunity because this is a prime audition for him to get another shot at a starting job somewhere else. So we'll see if he maximizes on the opportunity, man. So great job, did a great job. Salute to him. Great pass, like you said. He made some great plays. Skoranek, Jefferson, Tutu Atwell made some. He had a career day. So guys, I'm happy for those guys getting an opportunity, getting the ball, showing their talents on the big stage, Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. That's what you do. You step up, regardless. And I'm gonna get into the Texans and Cowboys too. And a lot of people are like, 1-10. These people still have to take care of their families. 1-10, 0-14-1. They still got. I feed their kids and take care of their family.
Agree with you, and it's not even the feeding the kids part as well. And listen, that's obviously a giant part of it. It's for your literal health.
Yeah,
this is not baseball. Which, listen, I love it. Or listen, I'll even say the NBA, where you can go out there and not try or something, whatever, and maybe you'll get benched. Or if you don't try in football, you're gonna get killed. Imagine running a route across the middle and you're just lollygagging it. You're gonna get absolutely destroyed. Exactly. So, the people, I don't think they're trying anymore because they want a higher pick. First of all, no player has ever played any sport saying we want a high pick right now. They want to win every single time. That is why they have gotten to the highest caliber place of their sport that they can possibly get to.
Yeah, nobody goes out there. Right. It's just a different level in talent. That's all it is. It's a different level in talent, but these guys are still talented. But each team has a different level of talent, and that's talent from a player standpoint and a coaching standpoint. But now back to this game though, because it's a lot of things that a couple things I wanted to mention. Devontae Adams, no catches in the second half after making probably 2 of the best catches of the year
against Ramsey
in the first half on Ramsey. He gets 0 catches in the second half.
You were doing so well, McDaniels. You were doing so well the last couple of weeks. It was all Devontae. What happened?
Listen, I understand, they didn't have Aaron Donald, so that's a big deal on you. So you feel like you could run the ball, be successful. But that shouldn't have been their only game plan. I mean, Carr only barely threw the football 20 times, almost, less than 25 times in the game. This is supposed to be a franchise guy. He's only throwing the ball 20 times. Devontae Adams doesn't get 1 catch in the second half. He's top 5 player in the NFL. Are we serious? Nobody's talking about that. No one's talking about that today. That's a big deal to me. How does the top 5 player in the NFL not get the football in the second half of a game?
You're asking the wrong one. Come back, Devontae. Will utilize you unlike McDaniels.
I mean, he still has his numbers.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, if you're trying to make a playoff push and the best player on your team, he's the best player on their team.
Oh yeah.
Right? We can agree on that, right? Yeah, he's the best player on your team, doesn't see the football.
Some would say it's a bold strategy.
Yeah, man. That's just weird to me. And every time when I see this, I think back to Brandon Marshall's comments about McDaniels when he was there. And kind of the funny, just interesting ways of his coaching style and things like that, because that's just weird to me.
It should be.
He should be getting 14 targets a game
minimum.
I mean, you want to disperse a little bit. You want to because other guys got egos and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, around there, man. I mean, it depends on how the game is going, right? It depends on how the game. If the game dictates more, then cool. But of course, like I said, he's one of the. You could argue he's a top 3 player in the league.
Yeah.
You could argue player, of course, quarterback's the most valuable position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know.
In terms of player, you could argue Devontae is a top 3 player.
Yeah.
You go Mahomes.
This year you got to go Hurts. I'm sorry.
Top 3 player in the NFL
this year.
Wow.
Have we seen what Hurts has done this year? Listen, I'm gonna get into the Eagles. Listen, I'm actually.
Yeah, we got MVP. I mean, that puts you in that type of discussion.
I think the MVP conversation. You know, let me save that.
I'll put you in that type of discussion. But yeah, for the Raiders, again, like I said, it just doesn't make any sense to me as to how the best top 5, top 3 player, one of the best players of all time, doesn't get the football in the second half. That to me, if I'm Mark Davis,
see, and I think that's the difference between
if I'm Mark Davis, man, woo!
I think that's the difference we see between great coaching, good coaching, whatever. Because here's my thing. You ever looked at a Chiefs game and been like, Travis Kelce just hasn't been targeted this game. He's not really getting no. Maybe, listen, the other week, I think he only had a couple of catches. I guarantee you he was targeted a lot, though. I can guarantee, Devontae just doesn't see the ball some games. That's inexcusable. I understand if, maybe he's double covered and you just can't get it to him because you don't want to force the ball in and, or maybe you're getting it to him and it's just some overthrows or things like that, whatever. But I feel like sometimes it's just oh, wait, Devontae's still on our team? Oh, maybe I should throw a ball to him every once in a while. I'm like, bro, what are we talking about?
Yeah, 0 catches is crazy, bro.
Run a screen to him.
There's no excuse for that.
Run a screen. Put him in the slot. Do whatever.
That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And then
make him the running back.
Exactly. And then to the end of the game, you hit the perfect point. Press coverage when they need a touchdown. Man, I mean, I don't understand that. You got to play off, man. You got to play off. 3-man deep, you got to play off right there. That just, I don't understand. They just failed from an execution standpoint, from a game plan, preparation, schematically. They had the game, but they just kept giving the Rams opportunities to continue to get drives together, and they hit those last 2 drives. And that there you have it. If you're a Raiders fan, you have to that's an L where it's you lose a close game.
It tastes gross.
Yeah, you lose a close game. If you're up, you're expecting multiple drives of Devontae Adams doing what he's gonna do, and you lose like that on a Thursday night. It's the only singular game on. That's tough. And they didn't deserve, I feel like those players didn't deserve that. So I don't understand what happened schematically there. There's some questions that need to be answered in regards to that. If I'm Mark Davis, first thing I'm doing on the flight back is I'm having a conversation with Josh McDaniels. I'm like, I'm paying this guy, right? I'm paying Devontae Adams north of $100 million, right? And I'm looking at the stat sheet here, Coach, and 0 catches. No excuses, man. That's an embarrassing. Imagine being an owner of the team and you're watching your team from the press box and they lose like that. You're watching them lose like that. That's a bad look.
To a team with a quarterback that's been there for 36 hours.
You got your family there. You got friends there. You got we're gonna blow out the Rams. Look at this. You guys want to come? Yeah. Fill up the SoFi. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful stadium. You come to Cali for the weekend.
And then at the end of the game, you're just watching Baker just run around. You're just watching that 17 on the field, just looking down like, wow.
It's like dry food. It's not even palatable.
There's just discussions that need. There's just conversations that need to be had in regards to that. So we'll see how the Raiders respond. I mean, they see New England this week, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, that tough loss for the Raiders, and it's a nice story for the Rams.
Absolutely. All right, we move on to the Jets and the Bills. This is a big game. This had a lot of determining factors in it. Obviously, if the Bills lost this and the Dolphins would have went on to win Sunday night, they would have been the 1 seed. Bills fall out of the top. Jets would still be in the play. Listen, big game. And the Bills do come out on top, and it all changed right at halftime, directly at halftime. I believe, if I'm not actually no, I'm on NFL. I can literally just look at it. So there was a punt. The Jets punted at the end of the half, and then the Bills I believe they had them stopped on a third down. They fake the snap on a fourth down. Mosley jumps over the pile, gets the 5-yard offside penalty, encroachment, whatever the hell it is, gives them the first down. Bills eventually go down, score a touchdown before the half. Listen, momentum is a very important thing. And honestly,
especially in football.
I was just going to say that. Listen, I mentioned baseball before. Baseball momentum does not make sense. It doesn't. Maybe in singular games, but the Yankees had scored 10 runs. They have all the momentum going into tomorrow. No, because then the next day the starting pitcher could have the best game of his life, and your starting pitcher could do absolutely nothing and you lose the game. Basketball, we see runs all the time, 20-0 run that the Warriors go on because they can hit 55 threes in a row, whatever.
Yeah, that's probably the equivalent.
Yeah, and listen, the football momentum is a big thing. Like if you get that touchdown, you get a turnover right away, you score again, it's like whoa. Like what just happened? How did we just get a 14-point swing? We were just up 21-0. How is it 21-14 now? How is this a one possession game? And you have the opportunity to go into half with a 0-0 game in Buffalo, and you have the offense to absolutely nothing with one of the better quarterbacks in the league. The crowd's probably booing them as they leave the field. They're probably heated in the locker room. Then all of a sudden, a 4th and goal or a 4th and 1 or whatever it was, you jump over the pile, you give them the first down, and then you let them score going to half. Josh Allen runs it off to the right side, does a little somersault into the end zone, and that just turns the momentum completely on its side. And then coming out of half, the Jets score the touchdown first, make it 7-7. You're like, oh, okay, maybe something's happened here. But then the Bills go right down, score a touchdown again. And then once again, the momentum changes because the next possession, the Jets fumble. Bills recover it. They hold them to a field goal, but it's still like, damn, like we just had it. Like, what are we doing? And then, then there's a punt after that. And then the Bills score another field goal. So now, you're up 20. They get the safety on a blocked punt, but then the Jets fumble again. So every time it seems like they have momentum, it's like, oh, okay, never mind. And
on top of the quarterback getting hurt, keep coming in and out.
Right? Yeah, I mean, Mike White just got absolutely destroyed. This was, and I'm stealing from Dan Orlovsky, but he said that this was the best game that the Bills' defensive front had played the entire year. And if you watch that game, you have to absolutely – I mean, Mike White was under pressure a lot. Obviously, the hit that's all over social media is him just getting absolutely Goldberg edge speared.
Matt Milano.
Honestly, the cleanest, hardest hit that you can do in football these days. Like, there's harder hits back in the day that, like, if you did now, you'd be arrested immediately on the field. But, like, for what is clean in the NFL these days, that was clean and just absolutely a murder. So he's out of the game. And then Flacco comes in for one play, fumbles. He gets hit again. He goes out again. Listen, the dude went to the hospital after the game. So he was definitely beaten up in this game. And listen, I still think Mike White's the guy. I don't think they go any other direction. Like, yeah, they've lost this game. They lost the last one. But I think they're also in these games because Mike White is the quarterback. Like, there's still plays that he makes that you're like, I don't know if Zach is making that one, and I know Joe Flacco isn't because listen, Flacco,
No.
please retire at the end of the year. I'm begging you.
I mean,
unless you want to be a backup, then go
keep
ahead.
getting them checks. Yeah, keep
Yeah, I
getting
was
them
gonna
checks.
say, I want to be a little Josh McCown mentor type. I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's gonna do.
But yeah, this was a big win for the Bills. Obviously, they keep their hierarchy above the AFC. It runs through Buffalo at the moment. They haven't played. I wouldn't say they've played great football recently either. Even on Thanksgiving, they needed a comeback to win on that one. So maybe they got Cole Beasley back. I don't know how much that really means to him, but it is another guy. Odell is technically still out there, so we'll see how that goes. Big news, obviously, too, that they lost Von Miller out for the season. He kind of went in for surgery on something else, and then the doctor said, like, oh, while we're there, we're going to take a look at everything, and found out the ACL was torn, so he had to have that done, and so obviously he's out.
Prayers up to Von.
Yeah, but it's a good thing that they have a lot of depth on that defensive line as well. So, they still have playmakers over there, and you still have one of the best quarterbacks in football, so you can get a lot of things done. But a big win for them. They needed it.
Yeah, big win. Big win for Buffalo. Puts them right there at the number 1 seed in the AFC. Jets are good. They got one of the best defenses in the league.
Top 5.
Top 5.
I think it's number 4.
San Fran's obviously at the top. And who was the former defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers? Robert Saleh.
He won Robert Saleh.
Yes, the head coach of the New York Jets. So that's their identity. He had last year. Last year was this is the wash. These are not really my guys. I'm not really drafting. This is new to me. Now, this year, I got my guys now developed going into their second year. Also got some young players, rookie players making plays. So the defense is excellent. The defense is excellent.
Man, if they still had Breece Hall.
Yeah, Breece was playing great for them. Yeah, it looked like he was going to be a star. But when he comes back, it's going to make them a better team. But as for right now, they just got to find Mike White. Got to stay healthy. I mean, he kept coming in and out, but he stayed in the game. He played the game, but you don't want him taking shots like that. So they have to protect him. Shore up that offensive line. He can't be taking shots like that. Throughout a game, it can't happen. It can't happen. So that's one. So, but yeah, defensively, they're going to be in games because of how good they are defensively. It's just the offense is going to have to catch up. Garrett Wilson, continue to make plays. Elijah Moore, got to continue to make plays. So I think the Jets, they're in an interesting spot. They're going to need to, really get some consistency on offense for this next month throughout the season. We know what the defense brings, and we'll see if they can make a push into the playoffs. But you obviously got New England right there, the Chargers. So they have some work to do, just like the two teams I just mentioned have some work to do. So, but yeah, good win for Buffalo, puts them at the number 1 seed. Was an ugly win, but it's a win, and then they move on, and we'll see if they're able to keep that number 1 seed. You get that home field advantage in Buffalo. That's a big deal. You got teams coming to Buffalo in that weather. It puts the Bills in an advantage.
Did you see the story this week with Miami?
No, I've not.
I don't know. I would imagine it's true. I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere credible, at least, that they had heaters on the sideline in LA because it was like 56 degrees outside real feel. It's supposed to be like 10 degrees when they play in Buffalo this week.
Well, Tyreek will be ready. He played in Kansas City. Yeah, it's not as bad. I mean, it's not as bad as Buffalo could get, but it is cold.
Might be a little snow. I mean,
yeah, snow. It's really the wind. It's really the wind.
Heaters on the sideline though for 56 degrees.
Yeah, it's that.
That's the thing. You better start pouring hot chocolate on yourself, during the game.
And it's like they don't really need home field advantage because they have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but it helps, because of that factor.
And the fact that he can cut through the wind with his arm.
Yes, he can use his arm. Yes,
that's one of the things that everybody
That's why I want to see them run the football a little bit more, because if they have a more of a power run game, it fits right perfectly into that weather and that scheme. So, and then of course he can run every once in a while, but he shouldn't be your primary running threat as the quarterback.
Draft Najee. I tried telling him.
Who'd they take? I forgot who they took.
I don't know who they took that year.
That would have been nasty.
But what year was it? I can look. What year was it?
That was last year, 2021.
2021 draft. Yeah, I was telling. I was like, damn, imagine Najee, because I think they had the pick before. The Bills picked Gregory Rousseau.
Okay, I mean.
Well, actually, Najee went 24 though, so never mind.
Oh, okay, all right.
They had the 30th pick that year.
Yeah, but either way, man. I mean, that still needs to be their identity, and they got the first seed, so we'll see if they can hold on to it.
Absolutely.
We got the Browns and the Bengals, AFC North matchup. Bengals struggled against the Browns pretty much since Zach Taylor's been the head coach.
Yep.
Stefanski, I believe, was undefeated against the Bengals up until Sunday. But the Bengals, they're just on a different mission right now. The way they're playing, they got the dub against Kansas City last week, and then they come into this week back at home, getting a W against their rivals in the Cleveland Browns and Ohio showdown, Ohio matchup. That always has a lot of bragging rights between those two cities, between those two teams. So Bengals, they're looking to try and get that number one seed, get back to the bowl and try to do it again. I mean, Burrow's in the MVP conversation, but he's not obviously at the top. Right, exactly. So, but he's playing great football over these last I want to say 10 weeks or so. I mean, he's just been playing lights out. So, and they got Mixon back, Chase is back. So they're hitting on all cylinders. Trey Henderson is out with the wrist. Prayers up.
Yeah,
so
that hurts.
We'll see what happens with that. And then for Deshaun, it's like, I mean, at this point, it's just Deshaun just needs to just get playing time. I guess I don't know if people thought he was just going to come in and throw for 400 yards, and
apparently
that's not realistic, because remember, he missed a whole year, and he pretty much missed this year. So he missed a year and 13 weeks.
I think it was like 740 something days.
Yeah, that's a lot of time missed. You got to get back into your rhythm. You got to get to feel how to feel to be in a pocket again. Like, you got to feel how it feels to have people around you and in your vicinity, and how you're gonna make plays. You gotta feel all that. You can't practice that. You
gotta remember what it's like to get hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that, and just like just having chaos around you. You got to get back to understanding. Okay, yeah, I'm cool in here though. I mean, I'm cool, but I understand. All right, if I gotta go, I'm out. Make the read. You got to get back to that. So this is what this next 4 games. That's what he's gonna have to do. He's just getting better. Just keep getting better. They could, as he gets better, they could maybe be a spoiler.
Yeah,
they could be a spoiler to some teams.
Absolutely could be.
And as he's playing well, and even though they're getting some dubs and some teams that play, it's the Browns, it could definitely shake some things up. So we'll see how that plays out. But right now, the Bengals are just on a different level.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to do Bengal things. I mean, like we always talk about the Chiefs as like that quick hit offense and things like that. And yes, it's true. I'm not saying that it's not, but the Bengals have to be one of those teams too, because like you look at the game, right? It's 0-0 going into the second quarter, and even late into it was 0-0 after the first quarter, even late into the second quarter. Then all of a sudden it was punt for the Browns, touchdown. Browns come back with a field goal. Bengals score a touchdown again at half ends. So like all of a sudden you have them like, okay, it's 0-0 going in the second quarter. We're playing great defense right now. If we can do this one more quarter, we go into halftime, maybe our offense picks it up. And then all of a sudden it was like touchdown, punt, touchdown. And it's like, how the hell it was just nothing. How is it 14-3 now? Like, what happened?
It's crazy.
So, that's the type of offense that they have when you have Jamar Chase. You have one of the better quarterbacks in the league. You have Joe Mixon, who's been unbelievable this year. So, and like we mentioned last week, when why can't the Chiefs beat them? I don't know why a lot of people beat them, because they have a very difficult offense to defend. I do think that injury on the defensive side with Henderson does hurt them, because I think I think it's like him, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons are like the three people that create the most pressures for their team.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's one of the most
Yeah,
underrated players in the NFL.
and I think he only has like 6.5 sacks on the season, but sometimes it doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
no.
you're getting there and you're forcing a throwaway or you're forcing an incompletion, or maybe they're running away from you and into somebody else and somebody else gets the sack. So obviously you're going to hurt them on the defensive side of the ball, but I think that they're going to be okay. He should be back by the playoffs, I believe it is, even if he does miss time. I don't know, maybe if they just try and do the whole club thing, like when somebody breaks their hand, but it is the wrist, so that's a little bit different, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, the Bengals are rolling right now, and they just need a slip up by the Ravens, and it looks like they're ready to take over that division. I don't remember if they play one more time this season. I don't know if they've already.
Yeah, I think they play one more time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Lamar's not there, I think the Bengals. That's one you circle and you say we got to get this one.
No, yeah, they definitely for sure. If he's not playing, they definitely got to get that W. The reason why the Bengals are so good is because one, you try to play them defensively, they got guys that could beat man coverage. Higgins, Chase, Boyd, all of those guys could beat man coverage. So then when you go zone, then they got guys that understand. All those receivers have high IQ. They can sit in the zone, or they could take passes that may be short and intermediate, and they get yards after the catch. So, and then also they can run the football with Mixon and with P-Ryan now starting to play well. And the offensive line is playing better. It's much improved than what it was last year. Light years better as well. So that also is going to play a factor, running and pass blocking.
At the beginning of the year, it takes a long time for an offensive line to gel.
Yes.
Everybody was worried. The first few games, he got sacked, 19 times in the first 3 games. Listen, you don't want that no matter what, obviously. But it's late in the season now. All of a sudden, they've had the whole year. Hey, if I touch you on the right shoulder, that means you got to block this guy a certain way. If I touch you on the kneecap, it's this way. Like those little communication things that they had to get down from being listen, there's one person from last year on that offensive line. Like it was going to take a little bit of time. So
yeah, of course. Exactly. It's going to take a little bit of time. And the reason why they beat the Chiefs is because the Chiefs don't run the football when they're supposed to run the football. Yeah. I said this last week.
They don't like that.
If you only rush in 3 and the other team they drop 8 and you still passing the football, then you're just overly confident. Yeah, because again, Mahomes could still make plays in that coverage because he's special. But just from a common sense standpoint, you should probably run the football. Because then that creates other things for your passing game. And I just think the Chiefs and I've been saying this since we've been on the show together. And Dan had mentioned that on NFL Live. But we could go back to the tape, and I've been saying Chiefs don't run the football enough in the right time. You could go back and we talked about it in the AFC Conference Championship game last year.
Yeah, they never do. That's an
Andy
Reid thing. It's
that's an Andy Reid thing. A lot of people think, oh, why, he went to 5 conference championship games before he got linked up with Mahomes and was unsuccessful and 0-1 in the Super Bowl. But a lot of those times and a lot of those losses that he might have had in those playoffs is because lack of running the football at certain times. But when you got a guy like Mahomes, he can make up for a lot of that because of his special abilities. But still, the game, it doesn't matter how special a player is. If you could scheme the game out and then plus you on the other end, you got some guys too, which the Bengals have, it's going to be tough.
Absolutely.
That's why they're so good. All right, so we just talked about an Ohio showdown. Now we got a Texas showdown.
Showdown?
And where, everybody thought that like they were 17-point favorites. And that's always a trap game. That's always when you see a spread like that, you should never put any money on that ever. And I'm not even a betting guy. That's just obvious because again, you think those players don't see that? Oh, where they're gonna spank us by 17? Yeah, okay. Well, again, like I said, 1 in 10 and 1, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because when I said these guys got families to feed, that's a fact, and just because you're on a bad team doesn't mean you need to put out bad film.
No. That's when you should try to excel the most to get off the bad team.
Right. Exactly. So just because they're not winning doesn't mean they don't have good players. So and again, it's a Cowboys. It's against the Cowboys. Teams are going to get up. It doesn't matter what their record is. Teams are going to get up. They're going to get hyped for that game. Everybody knows. Everybody's watching. Fans of the Cowboys, haters of the Cowboys, they want to see them win or lose. That's what Jerry Jones has been able to do. He's been able to get the people that don't like them and the people that love them to watch it, which is crazy. It's great marketing. He did a phenomenal job of finessing it that way.
Yeah, he absolutely has. I mean,
listen,
half the people that watch the Cowboys probably want them to lose. Like, listen, their fan base is huge, but listen, we all know when you're on top, everybody wants to see you fall down. So
yeah,
their fan base might be huge, but that hater group might be even bigger. So
right, so see these players, they're gonna get up for these games, bro. They're gonna want to play hard. And they're gonna want to show out. Oh, look what I did against the Cowboys. Look what I did against the 9-3 Cowboys. Yeah, okay. Look what that's what my team record was. But look what I did in that game. I showed out. I put out some good film. That could get you opportunity, like you said, to get a job somewhere else on a better team. So, 17
or even when a new
17,
coaching staff, when a new coaching staff comes in that wants to change the culture. Oh, look, we don't need this guy. We don't need this guy. And it's like, wait a minute, this guy put out good film no matter what. Never mind. During the rebuild, maybe he is one of these players that can contribute to us. It's those little things. Like that's why I said earlier. Like, you think anybody ever goes out there is like, oh, we're 1-10-1. We're not even going to try this game. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it literally does not make sense. Like, yeah, they're getting paid millions of dollars anyway. What? Who cares? No. You want to know why they care? Because you're in the NFL. You don't get to where you are in sports like this if you have that attitude. That's why I hate, and I've done it before, and I've since moved on from it, of like Timbuktu being like, yeah, I'm the best wide receiver in the NFL. Like, first of all, no, you're not. But second of all, it's people get, oh, he's saying he's the best wide receiver. Of course he thinks he's the best wide receiver. Because what kind of person goes out there and is like, oh, yeah, no, I'm definitely ranked like 150th out of my position. Like, I don't think I'm very good, but hey, they gave me a contract, so I'm just going to, like, who does that?
Right.
So, listen, it was the Cowboys end up winning this game. It's a ugly win, if that's a thing. Dak definitely didn't have his best game, and you start worrying about like, oh, is this going to happen in the playoffs, and whatever, and you kind of get that typical Cowboy maybe thing in the back of your head going. But I feel like almost typical Cowboy would have been to lose the game though. Like, I feel like typical Cowboy is trap game. Okay, whatever. We're gonna end up winning it. Like a couple of years ago when they were unbelievable and they went and played the Jets and got smoked. I vividly remember that.
Even last year against the Broncos at home.
Yep, that's another one where it was just like, why are they losing by 35 right now?
Mm-hmm.
But
got a couple of those games.
Yeah, I mean, Dak was 24-39 through 2 interceptions. Like, obviously you can't have that, but against teams like this, you can kind of afford mistakes because obviously they're not the most talented team out there, and it almost cost them. But hey, at the end of the game, when it mattered, I think they went
defense and 98. Yep.
Yeah, they 98 yards to go score a touchdown.
Yep.
And it only took them 2.5 minutes. So at the end of the game, when they were like, "Hey, stupids, let's get this together. Like, what are we doing here?" They went and did it. And
yeah, I mean that's they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's a fact. They did what they needed to do, but that's not a game you want to play because then you have to play perfect football. And again, this is a team that's known for penalties. They only had 3 penalties in this game. That was the big reason they was able to keep it close and come back because they didn't have a lot of penalties. Because usually, like you said, in those losses, Dak would play bad. Dak wouldn't play well, and they'd have a lot of penalties too. So even if they tried to get back into a rhythm, holding calls, any call, legal shift, things like that will just set them back and hurt their drives. And then at the end, like they did against the Texans, they start to come back. We saw the game against the 49ers, the Cowboys, We've seen these games where they're lethargic in the beginning and then try to come back. But you can't do that in the playoffs, and you got to develop good habits. So they need to get back on track against the Jaguars when they play the Jaguars. Jaguars, sneaky good team. They got a good quarterback. We're gonna talk about him a little bit. He had a great game last week. So they gotta get it together. They gotta get it together. You go up against a team like Philadelphia, 49ers. You can't have those type of
They would
lapses
have
like
lost
that.
by 20.
Yeah, you can't have those type of lapses. You just can't. So they got the dub, so that's good, but it's still a lot to learn from. And the defense and the offense made big stops. Cowboys defense made that big play, fourth and goal. That was huge. And the offense got the ball back and went down and scored. I mean, that's complimentary football right there. It doesn't get any better than that. When you talk about complimentary football, your defense gets a stop on fourth down, then you get the ball back and score a touchdown and win the game. So that goes to show how good they could be. But we can't just show that. All right, man. Yo, prayers up, brother.
Rest up, brother. Hope all is well. You feel better, brother. And listen, we're always here. Don't you worry.
Yes, sir. Prayers up. But yeah, that's just how they played. So that's their talent. That's how good they could be. They're similar to the Eagles in that sense. They have different ways of winning. But you just can't sleep on these teams regardless of their record. And that's what they learned. And I think maybe some of these teams that were watching that game, and these players, if I'm a leader and in one of these teams, I'm like, yo, you see all that? They almost sold. We're not going to be like that. So
yeah,
got the dub, but again, a lot to learn.
All right, Vikings and the Lions. I want to dive in. Lions get a win here.
And on the Lions train all year.
On the Lions train, on the Amon-Ra St. Brown train. Jared Goff. Jared Goff deserves some love here. Listen, he might be this season. Might be a top 10 quarterback. I'm not lying. This season, the way he's playing.
Got to break it down. Got to see.
I believe he's got like 20 something, and I don't know the exact numbers, but he's playing very well. Listen, I mentioned it on Monday that I was feeling a little bold on Gen Z, but I still feel bold, and I'll just kind of repeat what I was saying. Vikings are frauds. They're frauds. This is a one and done team. I'm over them. I think at one point they had a negative point differential, even though they had 10 wins. They got and here's my thing, right? They play very well against these bad teams, but it's always like that thing I have with the Pats sometimes, CJ, where it's like, oh look, we played well against these teams. Then you go against a team that has a top 5 offense and we give up 40 points, and it's like, oh, maybe that's why we were playing so well, because we weren't playing very good teams apparently. And so let's see. Let's look at the 3 losses, right? And then there's only 3 losses. They have 10 wins. Congratulations. But these are teams you might have seen in the playoffs. They go and play Philly week 2. Just get absolutely ran off the field. I mean, it wasn't even we all know what happened when they played the Cowboys. That was even worse. And then you play the Lions, who, listen, technically, the favorite in this game. The favorite in this game, a 5-7 team, was the favorite against a 10-2 team. So that should tell you something right there. And they end up taking the L in this one as well. We mentioned Jameson Williams was back in this one. His first ever catch in the NFL. Nice touchdown. You saw how happy he was. Give the ball right to Pops, as he should. Jared Goff, unbelievable game. Like I said, he deserves some love. 27-39, 330, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. DJ Chark had a nice game, 6 for 94 and a touchdown. St. Brown had 6 catches, 68 yards. Like, they're doing their thing. The Lions are doing their thing. And when you go over, listen, Kirk had 425. That's great. 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Unbelievable. Justin Jefferson, by the way, 223 yards on 11 catches. That was the quietest 223 yards I've ever seen. Like, I didn't see anybody on social media freaking out about it. I mean, maybe it's because they lost the game, but still, 223 yards. Hell of a game. But they just don't do enough to win, obviously. And I think It's just a one and done and fun like the Titans. I think that they're the Titans, where it's like every year, even last year, the Titans #1 seed in the AFC. Wow, like look at them. Who would have thought? And then they go and play the Bengals and they end up losing the first round. I genuinely think that's what the Vikings would do in the playoffs right now. Because just even looking, let's see. Let's look at the NFL playoff picture right now. It would be, if this would load, the Vikings. They're the 2 seeds. So what? They play the 6, right? No, no. They play the 7. They play the 7. All right, I lied. Yeah. I don't think they'd be one and done because they'd play the Giants, and the Giants are extremely injured right now. But
but that again, that's just right now. I mean, that could be the Commanders. That could be a completely different scenario a couple weeks from now.
Could be the Seahawks.
Right. So
listen, hell, it could be the Lions.
Could be the Lions for sure.
The Lions are 6 and 7 right now. They went out. The Giants started losing some games. Seattle looks like they've kind of come back down to earth. And
they got some guys hurt.
It could be real interesting. But yeah, I'm all in on the Lions. They're a 10+ win team next year. And
10+ win team next year. All right. Got it down.
I have zero worry about that prediction. Zero. And I think the Vikings are frauds. I really do.
The Vikings. So the Vikings are the NFC version of the Titans,
with a very good receiver.
Last year, Titans had AJ Brown, right?
and a slightly better. Nah, I won't disagree. And a better Ryan Tannehill.
I think Kirk's better, but just not that good, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Exactly.
And look, they have a great running back.
I feel for the Titans. Yeah, I feel for the Vikings. If you're a Viking fan, you're probably in a weird spot because you're looking at your team and you're like, we got one of the greatest young legends in the game of football right now, and Justin Jefferson. We have one of the best running backs in his generation, Dalvin Cook. We have one of the best wide receiver 2 in Adam Thielen in terms of making big plays, big catches, big touchdown plays. But you have to, every single time you have a game, you have to hope that Kirk has a good game and he just doesn't sell. And that's scary because usually when you have a good team like that and they have that type of talent and the way they're winning, and you usually have a great quarterback, and you're like, oh yeah, our quarterback, he's good. He's going to come in there, he's going to show out. You don't have to worry about that. It'd be other factors as to why they lose. It wouldn't be the quarterback. Vikings, it's like you don't know. It's hit or miss with Kirk, and that's unfortunate because they have a talented team. When you win 10 games in this league, that's not an easy thing to do. So they're just missing something. I just feel like Kirk is just. They just have to hope Kirk has a great run before the playoffs, and he gets hot, and he has a great 4 or 5 game stretch into the playoffs, and they get to the bowl. That's the best case scenario for them, because obviously he's the X factor, right? He's the guy that's going to decide whether or not how far they go, his play. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Lions. Yeah, you've been on the Lions all season, and they're playing great. They're playing great, and they're high-powered offense. Jared Goff is playing great basketball. I mean, great football. Not much. They got the game on. Jared Goff's playing great football. I would say the best of his career.
That's what I think too. I know he made the Super Bowl, but still.
Yeah, he made the Super Bowl. He was more.
Passenger.
Exactly. They definitely, it was more about Gurley. Gurley was the focal point of the offense.
What a shame injuries are.
Yeah, injuries. Yeah, he had the injuries. He's been at Georgia.
He was a dog. Todd Gurley was unbelievable for like 2.5 years.
Yeah, Gurley was incredible. but now he just seems more confident. The offense has done a great job. Dan Campbell, he just knows how to call an offense, man. He knows how to call offense because look what he's done with Jared Goff right now. Where a lot of people thought it'd be clipped. I still feel like if a quarterback is there, they should take a quarterback in the draft. I don't feel like he's just completely earned the keys to becoming a franchise quarterback, but he is playing great. Like I said, he is playing great. But again, we just got to see more. Get him if they get to the playoffs. If he leads into the playoffs, I mean that's leverage. That's leverage. So we'll see what happens. But right now, in the present, they're playing great football. One of the hottest teams in the league. One of the best offenses in the NFL. You named all that young talent that they have. Panay Sewell got a catch too. He's their left tackle. So it looks like that those picks for both teams worked out tremendously. For Sewell, Chase, that was the big talk, and we see Sewell now. He's starting to come into his own. Last year, again, rookie season,
big transition.
He had some good. Now, but he had some good moments though. But just it had to come all together. But now it looks like they're doing a great job. They're running the football well. We see Jamal Williams and what he's doing in terms of touchdowns. Swift also playing at a high level. So they got rid of Hawkinson and haven't skipped a beat.
No.
So they're just playing great football right now. I got to give them a lot of credit. Dan Campbell's really got that team going, and it's just great to see them, play some winning football.
Do you see who they had on Pat McAfee today?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of clips. I'm gonna watch the full interview probably a little later.
Motor City Dan Campbell, man.
Yeah. So I saw the thumbnail too. I was like, all right, I'm gonna check that out later.
It was fun. It was fun as always.
Facts. NFC East showdown. Eagles and the Giants. This, for me, is just, we could go down and talk about players here and there, but the Giants, they're overachieved. Great story. 7-4. Everybody thought they'd be the last team in the division, and honestly, that still could be the case. They still could end up being the last team in the division.
I think they will, because I think they're losing to the Commies this week.
Well, we could predict. We make a small prediction right now. I also got the Commanders in that game as well. So, but yeah, they definitely overachieved. We know they have a great coach. I like the way Daniel Jones played this year. I think they're going to tag him, and they're going to try to get some weapons around him and see if he's good. And if he has another great year under that tag, then they'll give him an extension. So both parties are good because he's athletic. He can move. He's made some big plays with his feet on crucial downs throughout some of these games throughout the season. They don't have a number 1, 2, or 3 wide receiver on that team. So again, if you just want to evaluate him and call him trash when he doesn't have, elite skill talent around him, I just feel like that's unfair. But again, if that's how you want to evaluate a football player, that's you, brother. But we do things different over here at the Hard Count. So. So he just doesn't have the type of skill weapons that some of these other young quarterbacks have. So the Giants, the Mara family, got to open up that checkbook and start getting some value. I know you try to get Galladay, that failed. Okay, what's next? Okay, it failed. Right, a lot of signings fail. What's next? So we'll see what happens in the draft. I think they need to go draft and free agency. Like I said, they need a number 1, 2, and 3 wide receiver. So they'll figure that out. Dayball's an offensive-minded head coach. He's played with great wide receivers. He coached Diggs, so he understands that. And I think they're going to do that next year for Jones. But again, still, they're a great team, great defense. A great defense playing great too. They try to stick in there, but it's just tough. It's just tough, man. The offense, quick drives, quick 3 and outs. You're on the field all the time. You're going to get tired. And it's the end of the season. You're going to get tired. You start off hot. You do a great job of winning these games for the team. Later on in the season, the more you're playing, fatigue kicks in. These guys are human. Eagles.
Yeah. No, go ahead. My bad.
No, you good, bro. Wow.
Oh.
Just dominance performance by Philadelphia. Everybody ate in that game. Smith got some love. Sanders had a nice run. Hurts, AJ Brown ran a great route. Sold the post, went corner. Woo, perfect pass. Hurts saw it right away. left it up there. AJ had to run to it. That's how you know it's a great pass, when the receiver has to run to it because he already saw it. It just makes it so much easier. It was just a masterpiece offensively by the Eagles, and they're just clicking on all cylinders. I think Jalen Hurts is going to win MVP. Just the way he's playing right now, he's the best player on the best team in the league, and no one saw that. I mean, we knew we said be patient, right? That's what we were saying. We were saying be patient. We looked at his record as a starter, which was still really good. We're like, whoa, like they made the playoffs last year when no one really thought they was going to make the playoffs. They went 9-7, and or
I
10.
predicted them to win the division this year.
They went 10-7 or 9-8. One of those. I think they might have went 9-8.
It was 9-8. Yeah.
Yeah, they went 9-8, and I'm like, they made the playoffs. I'm like, whoa, they played some great football in the last like 6 weeks of the season, and they just kept winning, and I'm like, they're in the playoffs. They played Tampa Bay. They struggled early, but they showed some solid signs late. Hurts started to pick it up late, and I said this. I said he needs to work on anticipatory throws. We got it on record. And what does he do in the offseason? What does he do in the offseason? Becomes a completely different quarterback. Touch, timing, throwing into tight windows, throwing guys open. I mean, this guy could be right up there with Mahomes and those guys. I mean, why not? I mean, they're 12-1. He's the best player on the team, and he keeps playing like this. He starts, if he excels in the playoffs, it's a great story. This is a guy people didn't think he was going to be an NFL quarterback. They were saying he had accuracy issues. That's why Dan, when Dan, he was like, "Oh, I made a mistake. I'm gonna say I'm sorry because this guy's one of the most improved quarterback." Because no one saw when he left Alabama and Tua took his job. Everybody thought, okay, you know what's going to happen. He transferred, then he went to Oklahoma. Oh, remember he stayed, then transferred, and then went to Oklahoma, and was a Heisman finalist. Like he was a Heisman. He was in that discussion. He played great. He had a great season under Lincoln Riley. Had a phenomenal season. Well, underrated year because just all the other guys that Lincoln Riley coached won the Heisman. So people forget about his year at Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley, but he's just special, man. He just worked hard. He worked on his game. When he got drafted, Eagles were like, "Oh, what are they doing?" People were like, Wentz this, Wentz that. Wentz is done. So it's Hurts time, and I'm just excited for him. I'm excited for him, and I think he's playing great football, and he's underrated. People slept on him. It's a great story, and he's gonna win MVP. I'm excited.
Yeah, the MVP conversation's over. I don't want to hear nothing else. It's done. Close the book. Listen, Mahomes is having a great year. I understand. Allen's having a great year. He, started having those interceptions and those problems that kind of took him out of it. Mahomes this week with the 3 interceptions, I think that takes him out of it. I think the only way Hurts doesn't win the MVP is if the rest of the season, he has like 2 touchdowns and 7 turnovers, and Mahomes all of a sudden goes 12-0, touchdown interception ratio wise, and wins out. But I mean, they're 12-1. He's probably going to finish, I would imagine, with 45 plus total touchdowns. If anything, probably maybe in the 50s. I would say probably in the 50s of total touchdowns. Yeah, it's over. And listen, I think, the Bills coming in the season were the Super Bowl favorite, everybody's sweetheart, mine included, especially when they got Vaughn. I thought that was really a game changer. Obviously, with the way they've played recently, some of the injuries, they've fallen off. If
they still could beat them.
No, absolutely. They can still make it there. But the Eagles are the Super Bowl favorite. Right. I don't know, what do they do wrong? They have the best defensive line in the NFL. They have the best offensive line in the NFL. They have the MVP at quarterback.
Best defensive line. San Fran.
Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox.
It's up there.
They picked up Sue. They got
It's nasty.
Linval Joseph, Jordan Davis is going to come back.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty. I'm just saying, San Fran is just. I mean, I think they lead the league.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, when you got Nick Bosa there, who's got 13 sacks or something like that, 12 and a half maybe.
They you just can't run the football on them. They're different. But yeah.
Oh, unbelievable.
They're top two. Top. Yeah, they are.
I mean, and then you go look and you look at the defense as a whole. You got James Bradbury, who the Giants just said, and here you go, have him. Still doesn't make sense to me. You got Darius Slay. Hassan Reddick is there. Listen, they have who they draft this year, the linebacker.
They drafted Nakobe Dean. He hasn't really played a lot though.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they have Nakobe Dean, who's a starting linebacker on a bunch of teams in the NFL. He can't touch the field,
right?
Because all of a sudden everybody's playing so well. And I
TJ Edwards,
they traded for
Gardner Johnson.
They traded for Gardner Johnson. He gets hurt. His backup comes in and starts playing unbelievable as well. AJ Brown's a top 5 wide receiver this season. Probably. At least he's up there.
Jefferson, Adams. Tyreek. Yeah. Diggs. And I mean, you can put
Chase.
Chase missing time. So I'll put AJ up there.
Dallas Goedert might come back this week, so now you have your tight end back.
Wow.
You have a running back in your quarterback and a running back with Miles Sanders. Like they're just a very, very good team. And like I said, the MVP is over. And yeah, I mean, like you said, the Giants, you probably look and you're a little disappointed because they started off the season 6-2, I believe it was. And obviously they're 7-5-1 now, but with all the injuries and the lack of talent that they had already on top of injuries, that makes it even worse. Because like I said, and you guys can go back and say it, and I'll do it again right now. You have to recalibrate expectations when, what's the word I'm looking for here?
When you get new results.
Like when the context changes,
right.
You gotta rejigger expectations as well.
Right.
So when they're 6-2, at that point you're like, we'll start the beginning of the season. Oh no, they're not gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna be bad. 6-2, it's like, okay, if they don't make the playoffs, this year's a failure. Now it's wow, we don't have this receiver. Saquon has been a little banged up, and honestly, Saquon hasn't been the same player the last 3 or 4 games. He has definitely not been the Saquon from the beginning of the season, he's a huge part of their offense. So if he's not going, on top of all the injuries they have, it's really going to hurt them. And now you got to kind of look at it as like, wow, we had a fun season. It's probably not going to end the way that we wanted it to, but the expectations had to change once again, because once you start losing all those pieces, it's like, yeah, I said that we should make the playoffs. And see, here's my thing too. People, injuries, you don't use that as an excuse. Listen, it's not an excuse. It's a fact.
Yeah, it just happens.
Like an excuse is, I can't believe the referee didn't call that on the 3rd and 1. No, that's an excuse, because you're letting one play say that it changed the entire game. Unless you're talking about like the Saints when they played the who was that in the playoffs? Oh, the Rams. Like when the Saints played the Rams and it was a clear and obvious pass interference that would have ended the game. Like, yeah, I guess you can kind of say one play did change the whole game. But if all of a sudden 7 of my 9 wide receivers, it seems like, all get hurt, that's not an excuse. That's a literal fact of, what do you want me to do? Go find somebody at Kmart and him to be Odell?
It's impossible.
Yeah. So listen, you gotta redo the expectations again. Now it's, if the Giants make the playoffs, like, damn, I can't believe we did that. Because I really do think that there's a great possibility that they miss the playoffs now. I think they're the 7 seed. And they play the Commanders this week. I don't think, like we just said it, early, prediction, we don't think that they're going to win that game. So it's been an up and down roller coaster for them. But I think the things that they've figured out is that they have some pieces on defense, and their head coach is very good. I'm still not a big Daniel Jones guy, but like you said, it's wrong to be like, oh, he's absolutely terrible. There's no way he's a quarterback with the people he has around him. Because if you find a casual Giant fan, not an NFL fan, I don't think he can name all of their wide receivers. A hardcore fan, obviously, because they live and breathe with the with the Giants. That's why I know Patriot wide receivers that a lot of people don't, because we actually care about the Pats, so we know. So you find a casual Giant fan, who's Daniel Jones' number one target right now? I don't know, like Sterling Shepard. They probably say Sterling Shepard hasn't played in 10 weeks, so
right.
You gotta redo expectations there. But this was just an absolute beatdown, and the Eagles did what you wanted the Cowboys to do, honestly. Like, the Eagles looked at it and were like, we're a superior team playing a lesser team. Let's go out and just absolutely destroy them.
Right.
And they did that. It was over at halftime.
Yeah. Then once the floodgates started to open with the touchdowns, it was rough. It was rough for the Giants. All right, we got an AFC North battle between the Ravens and the Steelers. This is a classic rivalry. It's one of the greatest rivalries in football. Just the amount of legends between both teams going at it. Hasn't really hit the same over the last few years, with Ben being on the way out, Lamar on the rise, and with obviously the Bengals having a special group of players over there as well. The rise, it's not the same. These teams used to battle for the divisional crown, and then sometimes they link up one more time in the playoffs for a shot at winning AFC. So, yeah, this is different, but it's still a close game. It was still a close game, and Taylor Huntley did what they needed to do. Mitchell Trubisky came out there.
Oh,
it's just
Jesus.
Again, he got the bag, and I'm like, Cam can't get in the league, but I understand it's politics. It's politics. Cam has a personality where, and again, I don't agree with this, but this is. I could tell this is how people view it. His personality can supersede the team. Yeah. So, and just like his, just everything. He's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks of all time. But I'm just like, he can't get a job. I mean, come on. Trubisky's out there starting, throwing 3 interceptions. You're telling me Cam can't get an opportunity to play? If you're going to have a bridge quarterback, like, even though I don't like to put that label on guys, but it is what it is that time. That's kind of where Cam is at right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have a bridge quarterback, why not have a former MVP? Doesn't make a lot of sense. But politics, I get it. Politics. But yeah, Trubisky was terrible, which is the reason why they lost this game, because the Steelers' defense was incredible. But when you give the team, 3 more opportunities to score,
3 extra possessions.
Yeah, it's some unfortunately, a drive or 2 is going to hit, and that's what happened here. And the Ravens, they need to keep winning. You talked about that earlier when we were talking about the Bengals right there on their heels. So. Big win for the Ravens. We'll see if they can keep it up with Cincinnati right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This one did not make the cut for the for the Sunday ticket.
So the quarterback said, "Oh no."
Yeah, I said, listen, I got Eagles Giants on the TV. I'll watch Jets Bills on the phone. I threw the Viking game up there. I threw the Bengal game on. I threw I don't even know. What other games did I throw on? But I don't know. This one didn't make the cut. I'll be honest with you. Actually, I had Dallas Houston on for a little bit because I was very confused as to how they were losing. But then, hey, Jacksonville and Tennessee was actually a pretty good game too that we'll talk about next. But yeah, I mean, listen, when you give a team 3 extra possessions, it never is going to end well, no matter how bad the offense is. You feel bad for the Steelers defense that, they have to deal with the quarterback situation that they are dealing with. But hey, J.K. Dobbins looked good in this one. 120 touchdown. You look at the receiving stats for the Ravens, it really is just so putrid. Demarcus Robinson leading the way, 5 for 52. I mean, Mark Andrews hasn't – I think I saw something that Mark Andrews hasn't exceeded like 60 receiving yards since week 6 or something of that nature, which is another thing you kind of look at and you're like, how is that even possible, especially on the Ravens when they have literally nobody. Who are you even throwing the ball to if it's not Mark Andrews? But yeah,
The new offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There it is, right there. That's pretty much what it boils down to. I know they have 9 wins. So people look at it like, oh, they need a new OC with 9 wins. You're crazy. But when it's time to play these teams, upper echelon teams in the AFC, you're gonna see people. You're gonna see why. For the people that don't.
And I mean, unless they get Lamar back, and I'll be honest with you, even with Lamar, and this isn't even Lamar hate, I don't think they're doing anything in the playoffs. Exactly. This is another one and done. Like,
sure.
Unless Lamar has some magic game where he rushes for 180, and Mark Andrews goes off for that game, and then has 100 receiving yards, a touchdown. Maybe they get a big play to some random wide receiver that we won't know until that game happens. Like
exactly.
I don't see them doing much. I mean, you're putting up 16 points against the Steelers and barely winning the Steelers when they gave you 3 extra possessions. Like, it's not good. It really isn't.
It's not. But again, we'll see what happens with Lamar, man. If I'm Lamar, I get it. You want to come back with just, keep the season going for your guys. You started together. You want to finish together. I get that. But you're in a crucial part of your career right now. You're about to get this second contract from somebody. And so, man, I just hope at least he's not going to be 100%, obviously, but close to it when he's out there, because you don't want to risk anything more that's going to hurt his chances of, compensation at the end of the season.
Absolutely.
Jaguars and Titans, a lot of divisional battles this weekend.
Yeah.
We got the Jaguars and the Titans. I think this was Trevor Lawrence's best game of his career.
Absolutely.
Evan Ingram, Giant fans are like, where was this for 5 years? He goes crazy, has a phenomenal game, 2 touchdowns, over 150 yards in the game. It's insane. Kirk played well. Marvin Jones, just a stud, just a vet, just always makes plays. Zay Jones came in. He's another guy. He always finds his way on a team, and he always makes plays. It may not be as consistent as obviously the upper echelon guys, but when he does get the football, when he does get those opportunities, he makes big plays. Zay Jones. So he was getting the rock. Trevor Lawrence was diming everybody. 4 total touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing. Mm-hmm. He was just on. He was on, and this is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see him make this step in his sophomore year, and then we know the third year for these young quarterbacks are the big year. You see what Hurts, saw with Tua, Allen, Mahomes. Yeah, I mean Lamar. Was a little quicker, but still from an experience standpoint, that third year is probably better for him than it was in the MVP year, just because of reps. So, yeah, that's the focal point for him, and these are good W's. These are good W's for him. For the Jaguars, for this team, gives that team a lot of hope. I know Con is just hoping for something, for some type of life. Ever since he's been in Jacksonville, it's been outside of that 2017 years. It's been a lot of L's. So I'm sure he's hoping Trevor Lawrence is the one, and if he is, then they're going to be good in the AFC South for a long time.
Yeah, like you said, we wanted to see steady improvements from this team the entire season. Nobody thought that they were going to, go out and win the division. I thought that they
5-8. I mean,
yeah,
it's in the mix a little bit. Yeah, it's not, it's not completely out, but we'll see.
I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the season, I thought that I said that they were going to be pretty improved. I don't know what I exactly had them at.
Yeah, I don't remember the number right, but you did see it. Yep.
But I'll have to go back and look at that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Trevor Lawrence's best game of his career by far. Like you said, 4 total touchdowns, 30 or 42, 368. Didn't turn the ball over as well. We had seen some of those problems, earlier on in the season. Then, like you said, Evan Ingram, 11 for 162, 2 touchdowns. It seems like he has one of those games every year. Like once a year, he all of a sudden is like, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at football, huh? And goes off and does something like that. Christian Kirk, 5 for 45. Zay Jones, like you said, 8 for 77, a touchdown. Just spreading the ball around, and it's what you want. Like it really is that simple. It's you wanted to see those steady improvements over the course of the year, and it's learning how to win instead of learning how to lose. Like those are the steps you want to take, because when you're on a team like this, or like even on the Texans right now, like you're learning how to lose, like because the way you're playing the game is a losing way. You're 111-1 if you're the Texans, so you are learning how to not win football games. Like, all those stupid mistakes you make, all the, not being prepared enough, maybe, whatever. You're learning how to lose. And when you eventually start taking those little small step forwards of like, maybe there's a coaching change like they have in Jacksonville this year, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, I guess I probably should have studied that extra hour like the coach told me I should, because then maybe I'd understand it more. It's, okay, I really just can't take a sack here because that means we're out of field goal range, and then that's going to come back and haunt us later. Like, it's those little, like, minute details that you think everybody just understands and completely comprehends, that maybe, a new coach comes in and, like, really hammers it down, right, where it's like, okay, we got to actually focus on this. I can't get a holding penalty here because it's going to back us up 10 yards, and, if we have an incompletion on the next pass, that means we're going to be punting it from our own 10 instead of the 20. Like, it's those stupid little things that, like, you look at as a football fan and you're like, okay, yeah, whatever, but means so much to the people actually playing it instead. And, they're learning how to win these games. And, for the Titans as well, listen, it's getting a little interesting.
A little dicey.
Yeah, it's a little dicey. I still think you're going to win this division, just because I don't think Jacksonville can continue to, like, string wins together. We know the Colts are out, so they're going to win the division by default, basically. But, Derrick Henry, I believe, had 2 fumbles in this game. That obviously can't happen.
He got rocked.
Oh,
the first one he
got rocked.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, lifted into the air like what he did to Josh Norman rocked.
You're so right. Exactly in reverse.
Yeah, I mean, he got bodied. But yeah, I mean, the Titans are probably going to win this division by default.
Wow.
I mean, but like, this is basically the Ravens to me, and not like in the same thing. I just mean as in the one and done. Like, whatever AFC team to me plays the Titans or the Ravens the first round of the playoffs, they're lit. They're like, oh, thank God we're not playing. Like, we're not playing.
Yes and no. Because you could catch them on a good. You could catch Tannehill will have a
any given Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
there is.
Mean, yeah.
But I just say it as in the fact of like, damn, we're playing the Ravens. It's a good thing we're not playing the Bengals right now. Or like, right. oh, we're playing the Titans. Thank God we're not the 7 seed and we have to play the Chiefs.
Yeah, different things you got to prepare for, right?
Yeah, so it's more of a thing of that, but they just don't have the talent. They don't have the talent on the outside. The offensive line isn't playing as well. I mean, Taylor Lewan goes down, gets hurt. Sadly, seems like he gets hurt every single season now, which sucks. But yeah, it's just, I mean, Ryan Tannehill's still there, so I mean, but one and done. But hey, making the playoffs does mean something. Making the playoffs does mean something. It teaches, maybe those those young players of like, hey, we worked hard to get here. It gives you playoff experience. So it does mean something, but it just seems like it's going to be a little short-lived for the kids.
Yeah, Tennessee is just going to be a cap on Tennessee until they change the quarterback. It's just that simple. In this game, your best player turns the ball over. And usually, when we say that, we say like it's quarterback. But in this scenario, it's Derrick Henry, the running back, and you just can't have that. You just can't have that. When he's turning the ball over, that's how you know it's going to be a bad afternoon. And that was uncharacteristic of him. We don't usually see that. We see him. We were talking last week. We were talking about how he goes crazy against the Jaguars. So
I mean, he still had like 100 and something. He averaged 7 yards a carry, so he still he still had a game.
He still had a good game. He turned the ball over twice, and they lost by 2 possessions. So there you go, right there. I mean that it's just how the game goes. Tennessee is just this is going to happen. You're gonna when you don't have an elite quarterback, to make up for sometimes you're gonna have scenarios where if you throw 2 picks, but you throw 4 touchdowns to make up for the 2 picks, to compensate for it. They don't
have a good enough defense that can stop them from scoring.
That could get stopped. Exactly. That could get stops and get you the ball back so you can try to get better drives and get into a rhythm. 1,000%. So, they just don't have that with Tannehill. And we know that. We know there's a limit, and that they're just like the Vikings as well. It's just you see a well-coached team with talent, but you just see that cap. You just see that limit, and unfortunately, it's at the most valuable position. That's. I mean, it's good. It's like it's probably like a bittersweet. If you're these type of fans, you got to be bittersweet. We're kind of in that category now too, a little bit. But for them, it's been like that for years. We're just, kind of.
Yeah, we're just
we're newbies. Yeah, we're just been brought into it. But right now, I mean, Vikings and Titans fans, I know, I'm feeling for you. But yeah, like again, the Jaguars, he continues to play well. He continues to improve and become a better quarterback year after year. They're going to win this division every single year until things change, and for the other teams, if they get a quarterback, things like that. Obviously, Bryce could go number 1 to Houston. That's a big possibility.
Yep,
makes the most sense.
That's what McShay has on his first mock draft of the year.
Right, exactly. So it just makes the most sense. We'll see, but even still, there's still a lot of questions that people are going to ask about him as well. They love you in college, but the moment you become eligible for the draft, all the cons come out.
All the negatives.
All of it comes out. I'm telling you, they cut on this size, and I'm telling you. So we'll see. But right now, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is playing great. I'm glad that I don't like bust. I like everybody when they're successful. Like it's just better for the league. Yes. Like
we are so smart. It's just
I'm just not a guy. Yeah, I'm just not a guy that roots on for people's downfall. That's just not in my DNA. It's just not. And I'm happy. I'm happy he's playing well. He's improving. He's got the right coaching. So monumental for a young player, especially for a quarterback, to have quality coaching early in their career. That's the most essential thing. And then, of course, on the field, O-line and things like that. But coaching matters big time, especially for a young quarterback. And that's why you're starting to see these quarterbacks flourish this quickly as well. It's not just talent. It's also preparation and scheme and what they're being told on a day-to-day basis at their facility. So, yeah, man, happy for Trevor, and we'll see if they can keep it going. Chiefs and the Broncos.
Ooh, yeah. Got real interesting in this one, let me tell you.
Yeah, Broncos offense finally got some life. Russell Wilson was making some plays before he got hurt. Prayers up, the concussion.
Knocked out. That was
that was rough.
You saw it in his eyes. He had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, see, and that's
There's been a lot of hits this year and maybe because the camera work is so good these days that like you see it literally in their eyes. But like the Tua twice, him. I mean, we'll get Devontae last night.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a big hit.
There's been some hits this year where I'm like, bro.
I mean, it's not even as bad as how it used to be. So,
well, nothing was because if this is 20 years ago, Russell gets right back into the huddle.
No, 1,000%. Like it's
right
nothing.
Back into the huddle.
Like it's nothing. There was no blue tent 20 years ago. There was none of that. There was. Oh, you said you was what? Oh, all right.
What
you need to come out. They'd be like, why?
Is it day or night right now? Oh, you got the answer correct? All right, get your ass back in the game there, bud.
Yeah, of course. And I'm pretty sure it's still like that. They could easily go back in that blue tent and do the same thing they're doing, bro. It's just now it's under a blue tent.
Definitely more difficult because they got the independent neurologist.
Ah, man. Come on now. I'm not saying that's the best decision, but you're telling me the owner is not talking to that
neurologist.
Do
I think it happens? Probably. Yes. But does it happen as often? No.
I think you're You're the optimistic guy. I think you're.
No, I'm the pessimistic one.
No, that's what exactly. Yeah, you're the pessimistic.
Yeah,
guy.
Listen, CJ, I'm trying to change the attitude one step at a time. Shout out Jordan Sparks. That was a banger back in the day.
Nah, that's a fact. But Patrick Mahomes, one of the plays of the year, rolling to his right, underhand to McKinnon, touchdown.
56 yards later.
Nasty stuff. I mean, I just like they just showed it on the how the game is on, and then they'll show like mini highlights like before like a certain possession, and I'm just like, what? I'm like, he's rolling. I'm like, he's rolling to the right. I'm like, okay, what's happening here? And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's different. I haven't seen that in the league. I've never seen that in the NFL. I've never seen that in the NFL like that. Leaving like shovel pass, leaving it for him to run under. Like, come on, insane.
He does very good. He's a very good quarterback. He is a very.
I'd say, man, dude is on another level. He's on another level. Like at Hurts is different. Hurts is more, methodical. Boom, 15, 20, 25, 12, 13. Mahomes is like run around 20. You know what I mean? It's like, roll out 30, like 35 yards. That's Mahomes. So it's a different style, but it's effective for both. And I just think Mahomes he's a backyard. It's controlled backyard football. And that's like the perfect football player, right? You want a football player that can play controlled, but also do the stuff that you do outside, and it still works in a simulation game.
In the NFL,
it's video. Yeah, he's a video game character in real life. That's what he is. And it's just special. And they're continuing to stack W's. Obviously, it took the L to Cincinnati. That's going to be a nice rivalry. It's going to be a beautiful rivalry for years to come. It just is. It's
Here's what I don't understand.
Cincinnati could beat Kansas City, but the Bills can't beat Kansas City. And then Herbert. Herbert. We don't at least. Right, that's what's right. Exactly. And we don't know who Herbert can't beat because he hasn't been in there yet. So it's just wild. Lamar can't beat Kansas City. He struggles against the Titans. And the Bills. It took the one out against the Bills. So yeah, it's like it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, man. It's going to be a gauntlet.
The thing I don't understand is I feel like it's so. And listen, I guess you got to change up scheduling all the time. Whatever. But like, can we be real? Why can't the Bengals and the Chiefs play every year? Why can't the Bills and the Chiefs play every year? Like just make a smart business decision. Like, do I really need to see the Bills play some random team just because it's their year to play? Whatever division. Like, I guess. I understand because then the scheduling isn't as fair or whatever. You know what? Life isn't fair.
I mean, but also remember they get their schedule based off their record in the division as well. So that's why.
But listen, we know
the Vikings.
We know the Chiefs-Bengal rivalry, though. It's become a rivalry. I don't care what the records are this year. I don't care if the Bengals finish in last and the Chiefs are in first. Just put them on the schedule next year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you could definitely throw that game on the. They've done it with Peyton and Tom.
Exactly, they played all the time.
But they've also linked up in the playoffs all the time too, and it just makes it even better. So remember, because they used to be in the same division before the Colts went to the AFC South. So I'm not mad at it. It's going to be a primetime game. Two of the best quarterbacks. You don't gotta say young anymore. It's just two of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's just surgical, and that's going to be fireworks. But yeah, credit to Kansas City. They needed this dub. You got to get a dub like this against a struggling Broncos team, and that's exactly what they did. Panthers and the Seahawks struggling a little bit towards the second half of the season. The run defense isn't very good. They got to clean that up. And I look at the Panthers, man. Steve Wilkes, this is a guy.
4 since he took over.
4 since he took over. Yes, right. Yes, and I believe they were undefeated at home since he took over.
That I did not know.
I believe so. I think I saw that somewhere. So, Steve Wilkes, man, this is a guy who didn't get a fair share, in my opinion, after that situation that happened with the Cardinals.
Absolutely.
They have a terrible season. They don't put any talent around him. He goes 1-15 or whatever it was, and then they fire him and hire Kingsbury. I think honestly that's just a curse. I mean, it's kind of a curse for them right now. If you think about it. I mean, they just haven't been able to get it together since that.
Can't wait to see Hard Knocks tomorrow. You been watching Hard Knocks?
I mean, I'm not even interested in the Cardinals.
I've only been watching it. It's been such a dumpster fire. I kind of want to see what was happening.
It's not interesting to me. They're not interesting to me.
I understand that. They don't have a lot of characters, I guess.
Watt's cool, but he's kind of past his prime. But he's good though. He's a good personality. Hopkins is a good personality. He was a good personality when he was on the Texans and that Hard Knocks. He was good there. Buda Bakers, they got good personality, but I'm just not that interested in the Cardinals. It sucks. Obviously, you don't know because they kind of do it like a few weeks before we really get to see who's going to be really good. So you try to pick the right team, but hopefully next year they pick the right team because these last 2 years the Colts and the Cardinals hasn't been very good. So hopefully next year they pick a playoff team so we can see like a Super Bowl, a Hard Knocks Super Bowl run. That'll be perfect. That'll be perfect. You know how much money and then ratings that'd bring in.
Oh my God,
insane. But yeah, Panthers. Steve Wilkes, man, didn't get a fair shake. They fire him. They bring in Kingsbury and Kyler, and he just he goes back to being a coordinator, and then Matt Rule stinks it up. But but what happens? Like I said, I said he was going to get fired and go get a college job, and that's how he got the University of Nebraska job. Just a perfect job, like a great job. Like you get fired from the NFL, and then you go to a Power 5 school, one of the best organizations, collegiate organizations in the country, and the University of Nebraska. So it's blessings when you know what you're doing, when you're skilled. But yeah, Steve Wilkes, he comes in there. He's just making plays, man. He's just making big plays for this team. They're playing for him, and hopefully he gets an opportunity to maybe keep this job. And maybe they bring in a young quarterback, and they change things around in Carolina, and he could be the head coach of that. Hopefully Tepper and his front office, they see that. They see how this team is playing for him, and they don't just cut him, let him go, bring in somebody else, and then they bring in a young quarterback. He's great. And then he's just back to being a coordinator. Like, give this guy an opportunity, and that goes for anybody. Like, you just give him an opportunity. Let's see what it looks like when he has the right things around him. Because a coach is only as good as his quarterback. We know this. So I mean, you could coach masterpieces, but if your quarterback throws 3 interceptions, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You could coach a defensive masterpiece. But just like the Steelers, like it's the same thing.
Look at the Jets with Zach Wilson against the Pats.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly.
The Jets should have 2 more wins on their resume right now.
Exactly.
No quarterback.
Facts. So hopefully he gets a fair share.
No, like you said, I mean, Panthers are playing well since Wilkes took over. Like I said, 4-4 since he has, and Seahawks coming back to earth a little bit. Geno had a bad first half. Kind of picked it up late. Did have 3 touchdowns, but he threw the 2 interceptions as well. He can't give teams extra possessions in the NFL. But, they tried to come back. They obviously couldn't. Sam Darnold, 14-24, 128 touchdown. He's not doing anything special. But I think, once again, it's kind of like he's not messing it up. He's not messing it up, and the run game has been pretty good. So when you have that combination, plus the defense has some pieces on it, Brian Burns and, Jeremy Chin over there. So, they have some pieces. So it's kind of that situation of like, hey, let our defense, do what we have to do, run the football, and Sam, please just don't screw this up for us. And that's kind of what he's done since he took over, and which is, why Baker isn't there anymore, which is why, what's the other dude's name? The XFL hero.
PJ Walker.
PJ Walker. That's why, he's not starting as well. So,
right.
It's the small little things. But anyway, listen, let's be real here. I'm trying to move on to these final 3 games because it gets good. It gets good in these final 3 games.
These last 3 are good. Yes, sir.
So, listen, Bucs and the 49ers. Not even – first of all, this wasn't a competition. It wasn't a competition. And I feel like the Bucs – listen, another team. They might win the division by default. I don't know, though, because they got to play the Panthers again. And the way the Panthers have been playing, they already beat them once. They could beat them again, and you never know what's going to happen. So, Bucs, you better start beating these bad teams. I think they have to play the Falcons again. I think they play the Bucs play the Bengals next week, which we got predictions coming up. And but listen, this is a team that was fifth, I believe, in total defense, in scoring defense. It gives up 35. You think, and it's just like, it's what we said about the Cowboys, honestly. Like, they have that big play. Like, the 49ers go down, they score a touchdown, and it's like, okay, but the Bucs are going to respond. They had that long play to Mike Evans, a touchdown. Woo! Tied up, yay! Holding. Erases it, then they do nothing on the drive. It's 21-0 going into the halftime, or about to be halftime, 4th and goal. Honestly, Brady misses the throw to Evans. That should have been a touchdown as well, but Brady made a bad throw to Mike Evans, so they don't score there. Obviously, Brady threw the 2 interceptions as well, so he's given a team extra possessions. And let me tell you something. Purdy's looking mighty good. And let me say this before everybody comes at me for the, oh, well, you weren't sold on why can't it? Who's our backup quarterback, CJ?
Zappy.
Yeah, well, you weren't sold on Zappy when he played good. He played the Lions defense when they were in the midst of being the worst defense in NFL history. And did well against them. Congratulations. Cool. Whatever. Don't care. Purdy just did this against a top 5 scoring defense. Devin White, Levante David, Vita Vea, all these pieces around there.
Those guys, yep.
Still there. And played absolutely unbelievable. And listen, he made some throws too and some plays that you're like, okay, he can actually do this. Like when he avoided the sack by doing the little swim move and then threw the ball downfield. Yep. The throw to Ayuk down the field was great. The throw to CMC in the end zone was very good.
Great pass.
Like you see things there where it's like, this offense is just good, and it kind of seems like no matter who's the quarterback. But then you also remember, Shanahan without Jimmy G has a terrible record.
Yeah, but those teams didn't have this defense. Debo wasn't Debo. Kittle wasn't Kittle. Yeah. It's just different. It's different. I understand that, but this team outside of just the quarterback is completely different than those Nick Mullen, CJ Beathard teams.
This might be the. I'm trying to. This might be the best roster in the NFL.
Roster in the NFL. I mean, Philadelphia.
Yeah, but they have the edge. So Philly has the edge. Yeah, huge edge at quarterback. You give a huge edge, though, in my eyes, at running back. I think
for 49ers, right?
Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah.
Debo and AJ. I don't say offset, but I mean maybe.
It's pretty close. Yeah. I feel like that's an offset.
Ayuk and Smith, I think they're both good. You like Smith, I know a lot.
Take a Smitty.
Yeah, I'd probably take Smith as well, but Kittle, I think, is better than Goddard.
For sure.
And Trent Williams, unbelievable. They have the best linebacker.
My Lotta and Lane Johnson.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I know. But Trent Williams is the best tackle in the league.
I mean, last week you told me Lane Johnson hasn't given up a sack in a couple of
years,
right?
He hasn't. Still taking Trent Williams.
Yeah, Trent Williams, 99 overall. Madden, he's pretty damn good. Just the O-line overall. I mean, it's pretty. I feel like it's an offset.
Fred Warner is, my opinion, the best linebacker.
No doubt.
No doubt. You got Nick Bosa, who I think if you look at both. If you look at both teams, I think he's the best pass rusher out of both teams.
Best defender.
So,
him and Warner clear, but collectively, Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, because Philly has depth as well.
Yeah,
but no, I mean their roster's unbelievable. I mean, Debo obviously avoided a major injury, which is very good. That was very worrisome.
Listen to Jerry Rice. When Jerry Rice puts a post out and says,
"Stop running our best players up the middle,"
bro, Jerry Rice, you might want to stop doing that, bro. It's just like literally like top 2 greatest player of all time, him and Brady, in my opinion. So, yeah, stop doing that, please. Let Debo be a wide receiver. Paying him to be a wide receiver. Thank you. The running back stuff is cool. We could do toss and jet sweeps for running in between the tackles.
Leave that to CMC.
For a 25 per. Nah.
Yeah, I'll agree to that. I was going to say, because if you're telling me to stop the running back thing completely, I disagree. But
you got McCaffrey. So, you should stop it altogether.
But McCaffrey and Debo lined up in the backfield together, I'd rather do that than stop it completely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can do formations like that. Of course, they're going to do split back stuff. But, I mean, still, again, Jerry Rice is tweeting, like, this is Jerry, like, what? So, you might want to stop doing that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might want to stop doing that, man. I
don't know.
You shouldn't be running in between the tackles like that. He's a wide receiver running
in between the tackles. Yeah, but he's also not, Tyreek Hill.
Still a wide receiver. Right. Even Tyreek Hill doesn't even run between the tackles.
But I'm saying he's not Tyreek Hill. He's a big dude.
Yeah, but he's still a wide receiver. Not a running back. Running backs, so they train their bodies for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he gets caught up in that pile. Those offensive linemen are on your legs. You're like, nah. That's why we say running back's shelf life is short. That's the reason why. So you don't want to have Debo. You don't want to cut. You know what I mean? You don't want to shorten that for Debo, man.
Absolutely.
So every once in a while in the Super Bowl playoffs, of course, if it's need be for to win the game, but multiple times in the game, no. It's clip.
No, multiple times, yeah. I mean, maybe a gadget play here and there, but
here and there, but 4, 5, 6 times. No.
Screen passes, you got to get them.
Screen,
like you
get in the outside, get into the outside stuff, of course, absolutely, but them guards and defensive tackles and those tackles, them 350-pound linemen falling on your legs, bro.
It's tough out here.
No, man, that's a bad investment. You're trying to destroy your investment by doing that. Yeah, so that makes no sense. So that's why Jerry Rice is like, yo, are you kidding me? Completely agree with one of the GOATs, Mount Rushmore GOAT. Completely agree.
Listen, maybe Brock Purdy's on a 2-game stretch where he's going to play good and then, whatever. But I think it's very simple. Like, he can make plays, it looks like. And plus, this is another situation. Like, you just don't have to mess it up. Like, what does he really have to do that Jimmy didn't do? Like, I don't think it's not like they're changing the offense because it's him now. And, like, they're going to make him pass more. Like, if Jimmy was bringing you to conference championship games, brought you to a Super Bowl, and he was passing, 15 times a game in a conference championship game, and they would still win. So, like, why can't Purdy do that as well? And we obviously see that he can make throws. It's not like he came in and, like, they won a 10-3 game. They scored 35.
Yeah,
on their fifth best defense.
We had 3 total touchdowns. Yeah.
So and here's the thing too. You want to know how to know if a team trusts their quarterback? They're up 21-0, I think it was, or 21-7 going into the half, and they throw a ball to Ayuk in the end zone when they could have just taken the field goal, and they score a touchdown again. Like, they're calling plays to win.
Yes.
And here's the other thing too, that's probably underlooked. And I know it's not the exact same thing as playing in a game, whatever. But I think Fred Warner said it. He runs the scout team defense or the scout team offense. He's been practicing against the defense the entire year, and it's the number 1 defense in the NFL. So what defense are you going to go out and play that's better than what you have? You're not. They're the number 1 defense.
Right.
Like, it would be different if he was the scout team quarterback for, Seattle or Detroit early in the year, where Detroit was giving up, they were scoring 35 points a game and giving up 36. The 49ers give up like 15 points a game, and he's practicing against them every day.
Yeah, and if he's excelling with the scout team offense against the first team defense, then that means pretty.
That's what Fred Warner said though. He was like, right. Why would we be worried about him when he was, doing this? And I also saw something too, and I don't remember if it was by some big person or if it was even true. So maybe it's not. Take it with a grain of salt. I saw somebody say that he had a better training camp than Trey Lance. But it was just the fact that, like, listen, you think we're starting Mr. Irrelevant over the person we just traded all these picks for?
Politics, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So it was like I think it was some dude who said he was like a cameraman for like a place for somewhere, and he was like, there were a lot of people saying that he had a better training camp than Trey Lance. So like, it looks like through these first couple of games, the dude can play. And I mean, obviously, we're going to find out as more teams, get tape on them, and maybe they start changing up coverages and try to confuse them, blah blah blah. But when you can hand the ball off to CMC or throw a little quick route to Debo or get it over the field to Kittle, and you have a great offensive line and you have a number one defense,
right?
Life's pretty good.
Oh yeah. Life's pretty good, and he's just like you said earlier. Just don't mess it up, man. Just keep the ship afloat, keep it going. Oh, LeBron got Oh, nah, you good. All right, my bad. I saw LeBron go down.
I see him taking free throws right now.
Nah, yeah, I'd be good. But yeah, all you got to do is just smooth sailing, man. Smooth sailing. Keep it going. But he's made some improv plays too. Like you mentioned a couple of those plays where it's like you see the athleticism, and he got blessing in disguise. I mean, he's the last pick of the draft, but he went to a hell of a team, and with the injury. With the durability issues between Lance and Garoppolo, he got an opportunity and he's trying to maximize on this opportunity. He got about a month left. Can
you imagine if he goes to let's live in a world, right? Just for the hell of it, that they go to the Super Bowl. They lose. But they go to the Super Bowl, right? What happens next year? You have Trey Lance, who's coming off the injury. You have Jimmy, who in his replacement was playing the best football of his life. And you have a quarterback who was your third string who just brought you to a Super Bowl. What do you do with quarterback?
You have them compete for the job. And then whoever wins.
See, I think
whatever the pecking order is.
I think it'd be a two-man competition because I don't think Jimmy comes back unless he's assured a starting job. Because I think there's going to be a couple teams in on Jimmy since he's an unrestrrected free agent. I think the Jets will probably call him up. I think
for sure.
I mean, hey, what if the Raiders really do need to get rid of Carr because of money reasons? I think he's like $5 million against their cap, and then they try and bring in Jimmy. Do the Patriots want to?
That'll make them worse.
I mean. But it's a money situation. It's not a talent thing right now, apparently.
No, that's true. That's true.
Do the Colts try and go tape again?
I could see the Colts trying to do that, even though again I disagree with that.
I would disagree as well.
Yeah, we both feel the same way.
Got to reset.
We just calm reset. I'm telling you, a 1 year reset could change life. I mean, they reset for 1 year. Get Caleb Williams. Get Caleb Williams in the dome, in the AFC South, a winnable division. Him and Lawrence.
Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, again, it's like I said, nothing wrong with the quick reset. I get it though. You want to win, that's your identity. But those things can happen. But I just think right now, San Fran, if Purdy, continues to play well, and if he gets them to the bowl. Yeah, you're right. I agree. It's going to be a quarterback battle between Lance and Purdy, and if that was the case, if he was getting beat out by Purdy in training camp, then I guess we have our answer.
True.
We got the Dolphins and the Chargers, two teams that's right there in that playoff chase and that playoff hunt, that 5 to 7 seed. Trying to stay in that 5 to 7 seed.
Yeah.
And this is Chargers. This is one of the best. This is Chargers' best win of the season. I mean, and honestly, from here on out, all of their wins need to be the best wins of the season because
every game is a playoff game now.
It'll be a shame. It'll be a shame 3 years in a row we don't get to see Herbert in the playoffs because I think we all want to see the gauntlet of the young guys, and we see who comes out on top. Last year it was Burrow. Year before that, last 2 years before that, it was Mahomes. and Josh Allen's right there, right there, knocking on the door, trying to get in. So we want to see that. We want to see that, that gauntlet. Herbert, Allen, Burrow, Mahomes. That's what we need to see. And if they could get into this playoff run, it'd be great. I know obviously our squad is right there. We're at the 7th seed currently as it stands today. My fandom, yes, I want to see us make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. But I do, as a football fan, I do want to see Herbert in there, and go up against those guys and battle it out. I want to see classics. I want to see young classics between all these guys. I want to see moments. That's what it's about for me when I'm watching the game of football. It's about moments, and with all these special young guys, if they're able to play in the playoffs when it matters, that's when they're going to perform and make the biggest moments. So we'll see, but they got to go out there and perform and get it done. We think the Chargers are going to do this and that. They're going to do this. They're going to come here. This is their year. This is their time. They're the sleeper year. I mean, they're the sleeper team. Watch out for them. And then what happens? They lose a game they're supposed to win, and then they don't get in the playoffs because they took that L. And then everybody's saying, if they would have just beat, this team, they'd be in. So this is what we see. So if the Chargers, see if they can break that curse and fix out the details. They're getting guys back on defense and try to make this playoff push. We'll see how they respond.
This was another one of my takes, and I know it's getting a little crowded, but I will no longer listen to conversations with people that don't put Herbert in the top 5 from here on out.
Top 5?
Yeah. Listen, I don't care.
So where you put? You said Hurts is a top 3 player.
Listen, right now, quarterback wise.
So that's 2 quarterbacks in your top 3, right?
Well, top 5 quarterbacks. I mean.
Yeah, so I'm saying you got Mahomes and Hurts. You said
Mahomes,
top 3 players.
Right now, it's probably Hurts, Mahomes. I'm not even going in. I won't say order.
Okay.
Mahomes, Hurts, Allen, Burrow, Herbert. That's my top 5 at this moment.
Yeah. I mean that trying to go through the Rolodex. That sounds good to me, man. That sounds good to me.
And here, that this was the first game the entire year that Mike Williams and Keenan Allen played together and finished.
Crazy.
The first game.
Crazy.
So, and here's the thing again: circumstances, people. Let's change expectations and things, and give praise more when it deserves it.
Right.
He's doing this without Keenan Allen and Mike Williams playing a full game together, without his center for most of the season, without his tackle for most of the season.
Later, yeah.
And listen, is it weird to say that defense helps your offense as well and help you win games? Because listen, there was no Derwin in this one. Joey Bosa hasn't played in how long? J.C. Jackson, their big free agent signing, hasn't played since week 1, I believe.
Out for the year, yeah.
Like, all of this is with a head coach that a lot of people don't like, me included, by the way. So he's doing all this with that, and also the whole Tua or Herbert. If the Dolphins could trade for Tua, if the Dolphins could trade Tua for Herbert straight up right now, you don't think that they would do it? Let's be real.
Well, they should had an opportunity to draft him. So,
well, listen, coming out of college, things are different. Lamar was the last pick. Josh Allen was the second to last one out of the quarterbacks. Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold all drafted ahead. Now, if we could go back in time, things would change real quick. So when you get to see things change. So yeah, the Dolphins had the chance to draft him, but now you don't think if they could go back in time and see what everybody turns out to up to this very moment. Because listen, maybe Herbert all of a sudden forgets how to play football, is terrible the rest of his career, and Tua goes on to be the GOAT. But at this very moment, the Dolphins, they pick up the phone. Hello, what do you want? Oh, you want Tua for Herbert? Oh, we'll start packing Tua's bags right now. We'll have him on them. We'll drive him there if we have to.
Yeah, it's just because of the arm talent, the special arm talent.
Did you see that throw he made to Keenan Allen? On the third, I believe it was a third down. That's one of the most beautiful throws I've seen in my entire life. I don't even think Keenan Allen saw the football. He just Herbert threw it and it just landed in his arms.
Crazy.
I mean, and the defender is giving him a piggyback ride.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Tua can't make those throws. And that's why
And
also
CJ, what I say last week, I was a little concerned, and I gave it a pass because it was the 49ers defense. This is 2 weeks in a row where Tua has done nothing. 10 for 28, 145, a touchdown. And listen, they only scored 17 points because Tyreek Hill picked up a fumble and ran it for a 50-yard touchdown.
And then he got past dude on the sideline on the right side for the touchdown.
And the defender fell on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
10 for 28, and you only scored 17 points because one of them was a fumble recovery for the fastest player in the NFL.
Yeah. Tua's having a little slump right now. Unfortunately, it's the worst time to have a slump.
Worst time.
But we'll see if he's able to get out of it. I saw a little bit of his post game press conference, and he I think he understands that he needs to play better. Based off that post game press conference that I saw. So we will see. We see them soon. And again, that was good back. This is more back to Herbert. Herbert can make those type throws. Allen can make those type throws. Mahomes can make those type throws. So that's what I'm saying with the Patriots. Mac, I don't know. We're gonna get to that.
CJ, I'll tell you right now.
I
don't know. There ain't no way.
It's just tough, bro. He's in a bad situation. But yeah, man, Herbert's special. So I want to see him in the playoffs, and this is a prime opportunity for him to get to that point, man. So ball out, these guys. You're getting your guys back. No excuses. You can make excuses early in the season when you were struggling, but now you're at a prime opportunity where this is it for you guys to get in the playoffs. You're getting guys back. What are you going to do about it? Plain and simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last but not least, Monday Night Football, Patriots and the Arizona Cardinals. Prayers up to Kyler Murray. Tough, yeah, exactly. Extremely tough. Just a tough season for Kyler Murray. Dating back to the offseason and everything regards into the contract. And honestly, you could go back to the game against the Rams.
The playoffs.
1,000%. And then the contract, homework clause, study clause, and the Call of Duty pie charts, depending on certain times of the year, and play level and play on the field level, parallels, nasty stuff. And then when football is being played, just wasn't able to get it clicking, wasn't able to get it going. Some flashes here and there, but nothing special all year. And started the game pretty much, non-contact running, regular scramble like he always does any other time, and on the grass, not turf, and just unfortunate.
Is it grass?
Yeah, Arizona's in grass.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So unfortunate injury, and prayers up to him, man. Speedy recovery. He could get back to 100%. It's gonna be probably won't be back until around, this time. You don't want to rush it back. I know he's a freak athlete and what he's done, but it's an ACL. He's a mobile guy. You don't want to rush these things back. So they need to take their time with this. You've already compensated him. So, I mean, on his standpoint, that's a plus. He got his money. He made it a point where he wanted his bread, and he got it.
He got it.
He got it. Yes, he got it. So, good for him, because the team any other time will try to take as much money away from you as possible. So he got his bread.
Just from our resident doctor, Deepak, he said Kyler Murray ACL averaged 10 months. Week 1 is realistic, but more commonly he'd miss a month. So you're looking at what, late October, early November.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the question becomes: will Cliff Kingsbury be the head coach of that team
I,
by the
I,
time he becomes available to start? That's the question.
I mean, I feel like, don't you feel like he has to be? They just gave him a 5-year extension, literally this offseason.
I don't think it matters.
I would hope not, because I think he sucks. But that's a different problem.
They need to get a new head coach, and I think they get a new head coach that values running the football and has a power run offense, and then Kyler can come in there and seamlessly transition into that power run offense. This is what I've been saying for a minute. This is how they should be. This is how their team, because he's not the tallest guy, and when you're in shotgun all day. I mean,
I think
teams are gonna
100% of their plays are out of shotgun.
teams are gonna pick that up, bro. You think defenses are that dumb to where they're just gonna be like, just let you thrive in the shotgun? You bring no different type of element to your offense. It's confusing. It's confusing to me. So they need to find a balance. They need a balance in their offense. You can't just be shotgun all day long. It needs to be some balance. So if they get a new head coach, hopefully that head coach values power running the football, tough defense. That's what you're gonna have. That's the identity you're gonna need in that division. It's essential. It's essential. Look at the top team in that division. That's exactly what they do. They run the ball and they play defense. So if you're the Cardinals, you might want to start doing that instead of trying to be finesse and they're having this finesse type style. And all the other teams in your division are smash mouth pretty much. That's their identity. They're trying to do something different, and it's not working. So that's going to be the question for them in this game. The turning point in this game, DeAndre Hopkins getting the fumble 6, Roquan McMillan, big play. Shout out Roquan, made a big play, man, picking that up, scoop and score, staying in bounds, breaking the plane, getting that touchdown for us. Some guys stop, some guys run out of bounds. Some guys think they hear a whistle and there's no whistle. They hear a fake whistle and they stop and they run out of bounds or they run to the sideline. He ran right through, finished it up. Doesn't matter. Was it incomplete? Doesn't matter. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to score. A lot of guys stop. Oh, that's an incomplete pass. You judge for yourself. No, I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to score the touchdown. High football IQ by McMillan. Great job. And that was really, that was outside of a couple drives. Shout out Harris. Kevin Harris came in there. Rookie, made big plays, made a nice cut move for the touchdown. Pierre Strong coming in there, South Dakota State, making some big plays as well. Our rookie guys stepping up, making plays.
Rookies had more yards in this game than they did the entire season combined.
Again, it just speaks to who we have calling plays. And Marcus Jones, it's like I don't think he got. I mean, I know he probably got better throughout the weeks, but you telling me we couldn't have used him earlier in the season? So, yeah, he's a hell of a player. I'm definitely getting his jersey. I was thinking about, right now, looking at the team, like what jersey do you buy? Judon probably, Uche. Judon, Uche. Stevenson would probably get extended, yeah. Hopefully. Yeah.
I wouldn't say probably. It's a running back. You know how that goes.
Yeah, true. So as I'm saying, Marcus Jones, I think it'd be maybe Jack Jones too. Those guys.
Unless you go OG, get a McCourty.
Yeah, but he's almost on the way. He's almost done. So I mean, for going forward for the future, those young guys, who you're gonna get. I think Marcus Jones for offense and probably Jack Jones or Judon or Uche. On defense would probably be your best bet. But yeah, he's just been making plays. Got his first interception, got a kick return for a touchdown. Got a punt return for a touchdown, got a screen for a touchdown. Why are we not? I just
let it out, CJ.
Man, bro. Like I said, this season is so frustrating. It's so frustrating because I just don't think we're that bad, bro. We just got a bad play caller, man, that's been selling us for 14 weeks.
I kind of like Angry Mac, by the way.
Yeah, I like Angry Mac too. He's showing that he wants to win. You know,
He basically told Patricia on that one play to piss off.
Yeah, bro, because it's like you're hurting his development. Like, what are we doing? How does the quarterback know you're hurting his own development, bro? That's how you know it's bad, when the quarterback's realizing he's not being developed the right way. What? What are these reporters doing in New England? This should be a national story, bro.
Every single
Come on, man.
Listen, and we say talking heads a lot, whatever. But sometimes the talking heads are right too. Every single person. I've never seen a defense. Actually, you know who? What? Steve Young. I was listening to Steve Young. He said there is not a single person in the NFL that I've ever seen, talk to, whatever, on the defensive side of the ball that I thought would be good at calling offensive plays. Ever. And Matt Patricia, smart guy. We all know the NASA thing. It got shoved down our throats forever. He's a defensive guy. Why is he calling my plays? And why is the other offensive person that's helping me, Joe Judge, a special teams guy? What are we talking about?
I think Bill
falls in love with himself. I'm telling you, bro.
No, but I'm saying I think Bill realizes that he made a mistake.
I think he realizes it now. I think at the beginning of the year, he genuinely thought it was a great idea, though.
I think he does realize he made a mistake. And it's just, you obviously can't change it up right now. It's the season. You just got to try to make it work right now. You're trying to make a push for the playoffs. You can't completely, shut everything out. But yes, I think he realized he made a mistake, because it's just no excuse. I mean, and he's a defensive guy, and it's like, when you're a defensive guy and you're watching the offense, you're like, my side of the field, is getting stops, and then we come out and it's just 3-and-out, punt. It's just field goal here and there, maybe a missed field goal. It's just no worse red zone offense in the NFL. It's like, what's going on? What's going on here? Again, they're running shotgun, and they suck in shotgun. We suck in the shotgun. We can't do it. We can't do anything in the shotgun.
Listen, I saw you like the tweet. Their offensive line is so bad.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I thought Trent Brown was pretty solid like 2 years ago. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, we're gonna draft a tackle in the draft first round. So just be prepared for that, bro. We're gonna get the tackle. We're gonna get the tackle.
CJ, you thought that I thought we would do anything that I actually enjoyed?
We gotta shore up the O-line, and honestly, if we shore up the O-line and we draft that O-line well, and they're young and they're all on rookie deals, it could be a blessing for us. It could be a blessing for us.
Word to the Cowboys.
Exactly. See, exactly, bro. So
I'm not as dumb as you guys think I am, huh? See?
You crazy, man. You crazy. But yeah, this is the offense. The offense is just, I'm still not impressed with this offense. I'm really not. They beat a Colt McCoy-led offensive Cardinals team. That just felt like, the life got taken out of them after that DeAndre Hopkins fumble. They just felt like they couldn't do anything else after that. It was crazy. It was like, we can't score anymore. It's over. DeAndre failed us. Game's over. That's it.
He tried running like LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, and it's bad. It's a bad look. So yeah, good win for New England. They're right there at the 7th seed right now as it stands today. You got Raiders, and then you see Miami and Buffalo in these next couple of weeks. So I mean that's gonna be a gauntlet. That's gonna be tough. Man. Can they get to 9 wins? Can they get to 9 wins? That's gonna be the question. Can they get to 9 wins? I think 9 is the magic number for that 7th seed, bro. So we'll see.
So what? It's Raiders, Miami, Buffalo, who?
Let's see.
They play the Bengals? No, I don't think so.
I think we do play the Bengals. Yes, we do play the Bengals. Yeah, the Bengals. That's what it is. Yes. Raiders, Bengals, Bills, and Miami. Yeah, we play the AFC North this year, right?
At best, you beat the Raiders, and then you sneak one out with Miami because they're playing in New England. That's my at best scenario.
That's what it got to be, bro. I said magic number is 9.
No, absolutely. I'm just saying. I think that's the path. I don't think they no shot at the Bills, and I got no shot at the Bengals.
Yeah, in Buffalo is clip.
I got no shot with the Bengals or the Bills.
It's clip. Yeah,
Raiders I give us a 60-40.
Gotta get that Raiders win, man. It's just that. It's just. I mean, honestly, anything after that I can't even talk about.
No, I got 55-45 Raiders. Or like win against.
I gotta see the games. It's just like I just don't trust this offense at all, bro. I don't trust this offense at all. So I can't even get percentages. Offense is so bad. Kendrick Bourne
in the doghouse, dumbass. Yeah, he went out and had 5 for 47 on 5 targets. Hunter Henry, hey, look, wide open down the middle of the field.
Our offensive guys are. I mean, they're not elite by any means, but they're not. We just got a bad play caller. That's what it is. Even Vance Joseph, he was saying, he's like their offense is like a defensive guy calling the plays, and that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it is. But he's too conservative. He's way too conservative.
I see one more screen pass, by the way.
It's just quick pass. Just quick pass, short game. Quick pass, short game.
How many screen passes do you think we threw in that game? Because I think it's 15.
Because he's so defensive minded that he's scared that if they get an interception, like then you're creating more possessions for the opposing team's offense. He don't like interceptions. He want to avoid that. He doesn't want the other team's defense to excel, and he's a defensive guy. That's what I think it is.
I just think he has no idea how to call an offense, and he's doing. I think this play might be good this time. That's what I think he's doing.
That's definitely a part of it too, no doubt. That's definitely a part of it too. It's just sad, man, because again, I feel like we got one of the best pass rushing duos in the NFL, and Uche and Matthew Judon. What Uche is doing right now in his third year, I believe he has 10.5 sacks.
Yeah, I think the Patriots have the third most sacks in the NFL this year.
Yes, bro. That's what I'm saying. This is like a wasted year kind of.
And that's not a thing we do. Like
exactly,
we're usually very high on pressures, not sacks.
Yes, Uche is getting home now. Uche is getting home, and Judon said he was the best pass rusher on the team, and he's definitely playing like it right now. He's playing like it right now. Uche's having a hell of a year, man. Proud of him. A homegrown guy. Great to see him excel with us. So that's good. Marcus Jones is good. I'm seeing flashes of talent of guys that we have on our team that are pretty talented. It's just
is
the
Barber
coaches
out for the year. What the hell happened?
Yeah, it's tricky. I don't know. You know, for New England, you're never going to know what really happens. So with their injury reports, is so wicked. But I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. But he's not 100%. So prayers up. Whatever's going on there. Marcus Jones. Again, our draft is pretty. He just can't draft wide receivers and tight ends. It sucks. It's so sad, bro. I mean, he could draft everything else, but
position players in 2022.
I mean, he could draft gadget guys like Marcus Jones. I mean, I don't want to compare him to Jules, but I see a lot of Jules' play style in terms of his versatility on the football field.
I'll take it though.
Yeah, of course I'll take it. Absolutely. We need all the dynamic players as much as possible. Like I want to see Tyquan Thornton get the ball a little bit more. He should. I feel like Tyquan Thornton should be getting more targets than Nelson Aguilar.
I can't wait for Aguilar to not be on this team.
I mean, like I said, and I respect what Aguilar did for Devontae.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what teammates do. I respect him. I respect what he did. I'm just talking about in between the lines. That's our homegrown guy, and Thornton. If he's healthy, he should be getting as much experience and chemistry with Mac as possible. I mean,
you would think.
Yeah, it's just difficult, bro. It's just so difficult to watch this team. It just is, and I just feel like we're better than last year. I feel like we're a better team than last year, but it's just that main thing is holding us back, and it's just tough.
Well, CJ, I hate to be this guy, but speaking of better, I've been better at this pick segment the last few weeks here.
Yes, sir.
So
I don't have the record.
Okay, that's fine
for this week, bro. Hard Count fam, but next week I'm gonna definitely have that for you guys. But yeah, Connie's definitely up.
we gotta work on the overall record. We gotta find out the overall record.
Yeah, definitely get that overall record. at season's end, no doubt for sure.
All right,
For sure. All right, we got the pop up week 15. Make these picks for you guys. Yeah, I think I saw 4 people in here. I think I saw 6 at one point. Appreciate you guys stopping by, man. Make sure you hit that like button on the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube, watching on Facebook as well. It creates a really good algorithm for our stream for more people to see it and watch it. We have it public. So, again, appreciate you guys.
Growing by the stream, eh?
Yes, sir. All right, we're popping up these games right now. About to share screen for the people.
It's the beauty of doing things live, people. Things happen. It takes time. There we go. See? Look at this. Beautiful.
Thursday night football, NFC West showdown. 49ers and the Seahawks. I got San Fran.
They're going to clip them.
Colts and the Vikings. Give me Minnesota.
Absolutely.
Ravens and the Browns. I'm going to go Cleveland.
I'm going to go with the Browns as well. I thought you were going to sneak in a little Raven there, but
I think Deshaun, in the offense, Nick Chubb gets it going. They need a W. They need a W, especially for that home crowd. Dolphins and the Bills. I got to go Buffalo here. I mean, we talked about it the whole show pretty much.
Miami has heaters on the sideline in LA. What you going to do in 10-degree weather in Buffalo? Come on.
NFC South matchup. Falcons and the Saints. I'll take New Orleans.
I'll take the Falcons. Why not? Desmond Ridder gets a win in his first game.
Okay.
Why not?
Steelers and the Panthers. Ugly game.
This is like 17-10 at best.
If Pickett plays, I'll take the Steelers. If not, I'm taking Carolina.
I'll go Carolina.
I know that's a cop-out, but
I'll go Carolina either way.
Okay, cool. Eagles and the Bears. Come on.
Next.
Chiefs and the Texans. Same thing.
Next.
Kansas City, obviously. Jaguars and the Cowboys. Sneaky games is in Jacksonville. We know how Jacksonville plays at home. Yeah, I'm gonna still go Cowboys though, but I think it's close. It's gonna be a close game. It should be a good game. See if Trevor Lawrence show out against the boys.
Yeah, I gotta stick with the Cowboys too. But hey, back-to-back trap games.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and right before the Philly game too, so they can't sleep on Jacksonville.
Nope.
Detroit and the Jets. We got one of the top offenses in the NFL versus one of the top defenses in the NFL. Who gets it done?
Come on, I talked about the Lions all day. So I got to stick with them.
I got Detroit also. I'm going to go with Detroit. Cardinals and the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos either way.
Yeah, I'll go with the Broncos strictly because of the defense.
Patriots and the Raiders. I'm going with my guys.
I'm sticking with the boys.
Titans and the Chargers. I'm going to go Chargers because they need it.
Give me top 5 quarterback Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers. They need the dubs. Bengals and the Buccaneers. Sorry, Tom, man. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati, bro.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Bengals, brother.
Yeah, and then last but not least, Sunday night football. Giants and the Commanders. I got the Commanders.
I do as well.
And then Monday night football, meaningless game, but I got the Packers.
Yeah, I'll take the Packers. They're coming off a bye.
Baker versus Aaron Rodgers. Sheesh.
LA Rams led Baker Mayfield. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the year?
Nobody.
Not a soul on this planet. Well, listen, if there are any souls left on this planet, you can go find me on Twitter, Anthony Conover _ Linktree's in my bio. It'll show you everything that I do. Generational Sports Mondays, Tuesdays the Hard Count, Thursdays Backstop Banter, talking everything in the baseball world. All those podcasts are available everywhere you listen to podcasts. And listen, you have a good one, okay? Caesar can tell you what he does, and then we'll get out of here.
Linktree.com. Linktree/CJames9. Everything that I got going on. Count the Bucket. New episode just dropped today. Make sure you go check that out. Covering all things NBA. Week 8 recap. Michael Lawson, Nick Andre. Check that out with my guys as well, man. Again, hardcount _ on Twitter. And at the Hard Count NFL on IG, man. Follow us. Let's get it going, guys. Thank you.
Listen, you have a good one, and hey, we'll catch you next week, all right?